Mario Bros. Movies look good in comparison.
They are good. What do you mean?
You know
ones?
exactly what I mean.
They're the best movies. They're the second best movie ever made after Morbius.
Mario and Luigi Mario.
The Mario Brothers. Okay, well, I'm all set.
Ready to go. Let's get into... Wait! Okay. How was your day?
Muted.
Please,
Right.
let us hear.
Great.
Don't hold us back.
It was just another day in IT land, you know? Fucking...
Fascinating.
It was definitely a day of all the
It was
days.
one of the
it was
days.
one of the days.
All right. Good. It's good to hear. It's good to hear. Reassuring.
Probably one of the days of all time.
Good.
That's
Well,
such a
I'm
shit
glad no news is good news, as they say. So, now, let us begin.
Okay, sure. So, session starts after we pour the blood in, and Marjolaine does a little sensey sense and finds the chalice from Tess, and she takes it and confirms that the stain within it is not paint. And then she makes the symbol to do and praise. A little bit later, Marjolaine and Walter are talking. They talk about how the spirits that help Walter do so willingly, but he himself did not come back willingly. During their conversation, a contemptor approaches named Tetherin. He asks if we're marauders and says he's coming to see if we're enemies or friends. Marjolaine gives him her name, and he says, "Crazy Mary, is that you?" Which sends Marjolaine into a bit of a tizzy. He tells us that his group was overcome, and he's the only one left. Marjolaine chastises him for being unprepared and not following the oath. But through a little bit more discussion, Marjolaine comes to the conclusion that the High Contemptor is the one that has failed Tetherin. Tetherin plans to return to Dew's Hammer and report back in, maybe find a new squad or a new posting. Marjolaine offers him a place to rest and then asks if he will join her on her path. They talk about her path a little bit, and then Tetherin seems to join. And then at that time, we get a little info about Tess's Dampier genetics. And then that leads to her going all out and going with the whole emptying of her own blood through a large gash in her arm and soaking up all of the celestial blood in the basin in any way she can. After a few rolls and tempting of fate occurs, there's a big whooshing. Every orifice of Tess's is filled with light, and then Tess explodes. This sends her poison into the air, and everyone that goes in to check on her passes out. That is everyone excluding Tillis. Tillis goes down after a bit of time and finds the gruesome scene, and seeing the new person in the group, in his frustration and confusion, he immediately executes the stranger and then wakes Walter, questions him. Walter wakes Marjolaine. He questions her. Marjolaine sees her brother being killed and steps closer to Tillis, who had a disintegrate scroll in hand, which he then proceeded to use, causing Marjolaine to disappear into dust. Walter calls him a traitor and goes invisible, seemingly planning on taking out Tillis for what he did to his party mate. After an escape, Tillis uses his polymorph and abandons his spider and runs away. Walter takes the possessions of Tess that he thinks she would deem valuable and takes them along with him onto New Traphis. About a week later, Tess and Marjolaine seem to start reconfiguring in their various means. Marjolaine tells Tess that Tillis killed her and also killed her brother. And then after a little bit of a discussion, we find that the gate was also opened, so Tess and Marjolaine have access to the loot that was previously protected. And there is a little list of loot. We got some cool things, but other than that, that's pretty much where we left off, deciding on what the two people that have come back from the dead are going to do.
Absolutely. And before we jump into that, let's get a little more context on the two of your returns. Starting with Marjolaine. You find yourself floating in this cosmic skyscape. Nude, but not in clothing, but from your very body. Even your soul is missing. All you are is an amalgamation of cosmic dust, but somehow, in this moment, you are aware. You have senses, and you can see a figure emerge. That work? Try it again. That work?
Yeah.
Cool. It felt like it didn't work. I don't know. It is strange. But the figure is that of a glorious angel, one you recognize well. She is an angel of the three, a demigod in her own right. Her name is familiar to you as well as Hysteriel, angel of the night sky. She floats before you and begins to speak, but as she does, she begins to disintegrate, slowly. Bit by bit, her form deconstructs. And as they do, the bits begin to merge with your form and slowly reconstruct your original form. As she begins, you have proven yourself a loyal and just devotee of the three. For your faith and for your service, I believe you deserve reward. But this gift I give to you, one that means the end of my current form. It is one that comes with a task. You have begun your devotion, and I would see you continue. Stay on the path. Solidify your devotion to do. And if you do not stray, the three may return. And as the last bits of her body finally dissolve, you feel her essence become one with yours. In an instant, you are rematerialized yourself. But there is another presence within that wasn't there before. Whether or not that is Hysteriel or just some remnant of the magic itself remains to be seen. But you float in this cosmic space for just but a moment here, and then you are engulfed in a flaming sphere, similar to the one you emerged from. And from there, you know the rest.
Sorry for dying in the expansive space for a moment there.
No worries. Jumping over to the other Deado.
Deado.
You stand before a great maw of shadow, pedestal of onyx. You are dressed in a strange red attire that you have never seen before. As you stand in this darkness, in this space, you feel presences from the far side. 3 separate entities can be felt cohorting in the shadows. And the maw emits 3 simultaneous voices that overlap each other, but come out as a whisper that does not come from in front of you necessarily, but it almost seems to kind of originate from just the cusp of your ears, as if it was right there. We have watched your interest, or your career, with great interest. Forgot a word there.
You've watched my interest with great career.
Yes. It's a problem
Incredible.
with 3 of us. See, we agreed to do this thing where we'd all talk at the same time, but then we kind of got mixed up where we're... Just go back to it,
Right,
to
so
it.
back to what you were saying. Go
Back
on.
to
Oh,
the
wait.
ser- Yes, yes.
Great.
That was good. That's good. That is the problem with doing these kind of scenes at the top of a session, is you're not warmed up yet. But your thirst for power, desire to rise above your station as a mortal, it intrigues us. But it has led to your demise. And they all let out in bellowing laughter and kind of just emerges from the maw. This time emerging it directly from the maw and kind of echoing out from there.
Great. Am I condemned to an afterlife of ridicule from people who don't understand true ambition?
Perhaps. Or you could consider an alternative. We could indulge you, allow you to continue your quest. But we all demand glory and service.
And who are you all to make demands of me?
Stay a while and find out.
Go on.
The maw begins to open, and within a moment, you are sucked inside of this veil of darkness. Here you see these 3 entities kind of emerge in shadowy forms, still quite nondescript, but you can hear them laughing as a pit of shades opens up beneath you and starts to pull you under. You are now being torn asunder bit by bit. It feels like something is pinching a bit of your flesh off and ripping it. Pinching a flesh off, ripping it. And it goes to every part of your body until your skin is all off. Then it goes to the next layer, where the musculature is starting to be torn off piece by piece by piece. This process takes hours, by the way. This continues until you're somehow still alive after the musculature is gone, and you adjust your skeletal state. And while this is all happening, you're having visions of yourself exploding. You're remembering the pain, remembering the suffering, and that is being constantly pumped back into you through this entire process. Then, as the bones are there, somehow they still have feeling as they crack and snap and be ripped apart piece by piece again. And eventually, there is nothing left. and you are reformed. The process begins again. No matter what you cry out, no matter what pleas you make, it does not stop. This process continues for days. And then, in an instant, you open your eyes after being shredded and eviscerated once more, and you are standing once more on the podium, dressed in a strange red attire, in front of the mall. This time, only silence.
Fine. What would you all have of me?
And you see the first entity reveals themselves as they walk down the platform. And you recognize the demonic form of Sorgras.
Mhm.
I will be the first to make my demand. My two cohorts, well, they have bigger plans. Ones you are not capable of accomplishing yet. But mine, well, you've served so well in mine in the past. I could see our relationship continuing. Your first task. Well, you're already on it. That wretched family of yours. Destroyed. The Imperium they protect. Demolished. All semblances of order wiped out. At least in Valera. Then, maybe you'll be ready for the others and their tasks.
It's not much of a task if I was going to do it anyways.
No. But this one comes with insurance. Similar to the last. And he takes you with his claw, grips you, takes his, because he's two little human arms too, and he uses those to forcefully open your mouth, and once again, kind of you saw this before, like emerge the bile, like black substance, just forcefully vomiting it down your throat, projectile vomiting it. You feel it engorging your throat as it fills you with this darkness, this dark ichor that you saw before. There wasn't much left of you when you came to this place, and it has since been deconstructed, reconstructed, and played with so many ways. You do not know in this moment how much of you is left as you are dropped onto the ground, and you suddenly open your eyes, and you are there on the cold stone floor of the place you died. But you spit up a little bit of black ichor, and, well, are greeted by a giant flaming sun. And from there, we also know the story a little bit. So, with that new context, the story will mostly be on YouTube for the time being. We'll get to the other two characters as they are in various places. It's ultimately where you two go at this point.
I feel like I may have chosen I've drawn the short straw in terms of gods and methods of rebirth.
Well,
one, an angel sacrificing themselves to give you light anew in the matter of, minute or no moment. And then the other, disintegrating me slowly across several days.
you choose your bedfellows.
And then, I don't know, fucking filling me with tar or black ichor shit, and then just leaving it vague, refusing to elaborate further on what the task
Refuse
is
to
and what
elaborate,
the insurance
Chad.
is, and just vomiting me out into a stone floor and just figure it out.
It is very reminiscent of like a career criminal sitting in prison at age like 60 being like, I have made poor choices.
I also like how taking down kingdoms and giant companies is the task you can comprehend. Just wait for the task you can't even comprehend.
Right, the one that I'm not ready for. Like, fuck you, Zorgraz. I opened a goddamn hole in the planet and brought all the demons here. Fuck you.
Well, the tasks that he's talking about aren't his. So it's you're saying fuck you to whoever the other two are.
Yeah, fuck them. No, she's
It's
scared.
going to be define the person who keeps cursing you with ducks.
My
Again,
task
it's not
is
much of a
ducks.
task I was going to do it anyways.
You must battle.
I knew you couldn't comprehend it because there's so many ducks.
Find this
No,
thing
no,
to its
no,
the
no,
second
no.
deity is revealed after I've brought Valyra to its knees, and it's Zonkathon, the god of pain, and he wants me to enrapture the planet in fear, and then I do, and then the third and final boss, Gigaduck.
Gigaduck, you serve the ducks perfectly.
And his task is
use
whack.
your mercantile proclivities to replace the world with ducks. All of it.
All of it.
I wish
All
to
of it
reshape
ducks.
Agrabah, pouring orb and dead the duck.
Agrafrost, mealy an egg. For the largest duck of all.
I'm evil, but even I could never stoop so low.
Well, you guys figured out the campaign plot pretty early. So do you guys want to call it here and we can start a new campaign and just say all that
Let's-
happens
you gotta
and we can
dive
start in Duck
into
Camp
the
World?
whirlpool to
Well,
get
you
Yeah,
just
just
go right
fast
to duck
forward
shit.
until we're all ducks.
Yeah, cool. Quack.
Isn't that an actual TRPG where everyone's
I
a
hope
duck?
so. Is it? I hope
I'm
so.
pretty sure it's either that or chickens. I know one of them.
In my
We
head
could
canon, it's
reflavor
every
it. We could
TTRPG I play.
canon it. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm a duck now. At any rate, with that new context of
See the
your
campaign. Back in there.
journeys coming forth, you start to wander out of the ruin with your new outfits and gear and scavenged gear and treasures that you have gathered here, and from what remains of your previous things. The two of you have a moment at the precipice of this ruin, and you stare out into the early morning darkness. It is 2 in the morning. The night sky is clear, and before you is just endless hill lands of darkness.
So we're venturing to Celebrium, obviously, to find Tillis. There have been any miscommunications whilst I was away, not to mediate, and to get my other shard back from him.
It seems
Right.
you have much to do. I'm not certain my path leads me to one I was so unprepared to face.
I don't know what that means, but are you coming with me or not? Don't make me beg.
I will accompany you as far as I can. Uga, I do have a question for you.
Absolutely.
So I know we didn't actually incorporate the sanity officially, but like,
We need to.
well, yeah, well, marginal insanity is probably like fucking below 10.
Yeah, without this game's going, we absolutely should incorporate the sanity, some sort of sanity rules. This is getting fucking nutty. We're dealing with some big shit. Everyone's dealing with some weird shit now, so probably a good idea. I'll make a note of that because I do want to get that. It's really easy to get going in Foundry, and then we also need to find a rule set that's a good one that we can agree upon. But yeah, but if you want to emulate that, you can.
I'm wondering, does being reborn have any positive effect on a waning sanity score?
I feel like fusing with an angel is like a pretty good pick me up, right? Like if the cosmic powers of the universe are like, hey, you know what? We're here to make things perfect for you. Kind of feel
It's
like
a
that's a big ego boost.
It's a little better. It's also a little more chaotic because there is that presence in there, and you are getting. And I will say, now that you're kind of moving around and physically in the world, you're getting. It's interesting. It's almost like there's your thoughts, and then every once in a while you'll hear a thought that sounds kind of like something you wouldn't have thought of. You almost have like two thought trains going on at the same time right now, and that second thought train is seemingly a slightly different perspective. that's something. That's all you can really tell now, but that's something further to explore in your own brain. Your brain's doing some weird stuff for sure. So it's definitely not the most healthy thing for a mind to have happen. Even your form actually is probably the most suited to handle shit like this, and even that, not doing so hot in the whole headspace. But I would say it'd be a different thing. Like, I almost say like this is curious. Anything that would have affected just a mortal creature probably would have been remedied, but then there would have been new fractures made from that remedying, and now there would probably be new trauma, essentially. That's how I'm envisioning it.
My favorite kind.
New trauma. My favorite.
Okay. I will accompany you as far as I can.
Right.
But I feel as if I have some more pressing matters.
Well, once this is all resolved, perhaps you'll have Tillis and I. After this shot, I have no further leads, so might as well accompany you with whatever you're doing. Scratch my back, and I shall itch yours. Maybe we can see about getting your brother back. I know there are ways.
I believe perhaps it's too late for him. I'm not sure Brother Tethrin has a place any longer. But you mentioned you might want to speak with him before we departed.
I mean, I would like to, but I don't have the ability to without resting. I presume I'll get my magic back come the morning.
I see.
But any time that we waste is, well, time wasted. So could simply remove his head, but that would seem rude.
It would be.
Right, I wasn't sure how pragmatic we were going to be. But I suppose we could wait for the morning.
We do need to gather supplies if we're going to spend a week traveling back along with no place to resupply. Perhaps just this night to gather something.
Fine.
So I
What
think
do you need?
all of the
Food or
rations
something?
got- Yeah. I believe I do need to gather food and water. Perhaps anything to help the trek grow shorter.
How's your horse?
That's true. Did we decide that my horse is still around?
I think Walter left it, yeah.
Yeah.
The horse
Because
is
it was
still
untied.
outside.
It was untied, and Zach wasn't to be seen. So
Right.
And Zach was gone whenever Walter left,
yes,
right?
Zach
Like,
was gone when
during
Walter
the
left.
Tillis Walter thing, Zach was gone.
Correct.
Hmm.
As you're kind of contemplating this, you see almost a radiant light shine from the stars, and you see Zupari darting over faithfully.
Super 8 does still live. I see.
As-
them
It should hasten the trip.
As she wanders over and like kind of comes between you and Cassandra, you hear much more consciously in your mind. You remember your path, chosen. You are a champion of the three, and you will walk, well, your current path walks into a pit of vipers. Be on your guard, keep your blade close, especially now
Who
and the nights to come.
did you hear that?
What? Your stomach growling?
No. Someone speaking.
No one is speaking. Short of you and I.
No, someone was. I heard them. That's okay. We should find.
Then no, that's not okay if you're that sure.
I'm certain of it.
And what did they say?
If you didn't hear, then perhaps it wasn't for your ears. It's nothing to worry about.
And if you weren't told to be quiet, then perhaps it wasn't meant to be. I presume you're not on account of you asking me.
That's. She's just gonna press her hands to her ears. It's fine. That's not a problem. We'll find your horse somewhere. And then she's just gonna looking around. I'm sure Zach, there's like not even a trace. It's been a week.
It's been like roughly a week at this point, yeah.
Do we know that?
No. You could make a survival check to look around the area and gauge the passage of time based on the growth rate of the grass. I don't know.
Sure, I'll make just the most cursory survival check when we went to see Zach and he's not.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking for Zach, I'm sure
Just
we'll
like,
see if any of that.
this has no bearing on anything. Yeah.
You look, you see nothing. It could have been. It feels like it was pretty quick. Oh, but then you remember
No, fuck
all
no,
of the
I'm not like
hours
that.
and days and like all of the torture. So you assume it's been at least a few days.
See.
What a not pleasant time you had, Tess. You think to yourself.
There's no sign of your horse, and it seems that there's been some time since we entered where we were.
That makes sense.
I guess I'll find us something to sustain us on the road.
Well, if it's hunting, it's a little beneath my station, but it's in my nature, so I'm not ashamed to admit it.
I see. I
So
don't
if your plans are to like go look for food, you can make I believe it's a survival check to like hunt for rations, for a night's worth of rations. Do good enough, and you get your rations essentially. In this area, there's plenty of game about plains game that you could hunt. Though,
Could I
it's
make
nighttime.
like a stealth check or like maybe a dex-based survival? Her intention is to like find food in the way that a vampire does, like the skulking through these areas, that very, you know.
I think that applies.
Hunting rather than
Stealth is
scavenging.
a sufficient one. I think it's a sufficient like usage of a stealth altercation there. Allow that.
You know, she'll use like her magic or something to
Especially
fucking
since the
blow up
two
their
of you
brains or
only
something.
need to kill like one big animal, theoretically, like a buffalo, which you know there are a few wandering around here. The land of the buffalo. It's Dreyfus. It's south of
Buffalo
New Dreyfus.
move.
They migrate to the big city.
The buffalo migrate west of Celebrium, south of the new capital of the white man.
I just say good survival check. I got no clever ideas here.
Don't need them.
Yeah, you guys working together do come across a wounded buffalo that has been separated from its herd. It's currently limping on its last leg. It looks like it was attacked by some sort of predator, and it is hastily trying to catch up with wherever its herd gone off to, but it's so slow now. It's just wandering through the night. It looks exhausted. Easy kill. If you want to kill it, you monsters.
If you don't mind, I would actually prefer to do the deed.
Of course.
Then yeah, Tess is going to stalk up, and I'm going to try to kill it with my fucking hand and try to drain it in the process.
As you're going, it turns to look at you, and it looks like it had a little bit of energy that it could resist, but then it stares you in the eye and it accepts its fate.
I think normally she's used to like, you know, kind of like just straight draining someone with the hand, but I think in this like particular case, she like looks for a soft spot and like actually digs her physical hand into it and like I don't know, twists her hand around a little bit just to make it hurt.
It lets out a pained as it collapses to the ground.
I think she tries to make it last a little longer than normal.
And the beast is suffering. You can hear it crying out in pain from here. Marjolaine.
I think Marjolaine is fucking dead to the world at this point.
Yeah.
Just watching the scene unfold.
It's graphic, but hey, it's eat.
Oh.
The bull has had its revenge.
There we go. I think my Discord is updated.
So so as your hand, first sinks in, deals the damage, but then you siphon the energy, and the bulls or the buffaloes. I guess it'd be a buffalo bull, Buffalo Bill. Goes.
He's got a gun.
Goes limp, and the cries slow and eventually stop as the energy is siphoned out. Good hunt.
Right.
Ooh, terrible.
Fucking pulls the hand out and like flicks the blood off to the side. All right, I'm full.
I see. And Marjolaine will just sort of slowly follow up. Unfortunately, the only thing she has to cut this buffalo with is a fucking giant greatsword. But
Oh, don't worry, my stuff was left behind. She has that new short sword that's some kind of magic, I think, and she also has her old S-Dock, which won't help, but she has a rondel. She has a knife.
You could also use like the deployable greatsword as almost like a scissor blade, where it goes zzz, 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 like you put it out, put it back in, put it out, put it back in, like just keep turning it off and on, off and on.
Like a lightsaber chainsaw.
Yeah, like it'd be great.
A lightsaber chainsaw is a cursed mental image.
this will sustain us for some time at least. I suppose.
Cut and tear the flesh and prepare it for consumption, and I assume set up a little bit of a campsite with what you have. Do you have any like camping gear, or are you just kind of like eating this raw and sleeping on the ground? I
mean, all my shit got destroyed, and I do not have, unfortunately, any clever magical solutions. So
well, big raw jerky.
Yeah, just dead to the world.
Also, you're immune to disease. Who gives a shit?
It's true, and it's fairly safe.
Marshall just look up blood all over her face, just slowly nodding.
You know, this may be uncouth and perhaps a bad time, but the raw consumption with the blood in your face surprisingly suits you.
Yeah, you like Lady Demetri, whatever you say his name, with a red lipstick, essentially, or like the Joker, baby, the Joker.
The pale skin and light hair.
Just a big
Some kind of crazy person, like a psychopath.
Like a psychopath, like the Joker.
There are only two genders: Lady Domitresque and the Joker.
And the Joker. Those are the two genders.
Well, I'm glad you think it suits me.
Just a little bit of color, you know.
I suppose I've never done this before. Perhaps I should make habit of it.
Perhaps you should. I wouldn't judge you for it.
Buffalo tartar.
In fact, I believe you should simply do what you want to do. And as I said, it looks good on you.
I've done what I wanted to do. It has led me here. Eating raw buffalo in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but you're enjoying it.
Enjoyment
Sounds
is
like it's working out.
hard to find, I suppose.
Only if you make it hard to find.
I'm not sure if I make the choice whether it's hard to find or not.
Like me, for example. I simply decided to enjoy killing the buffalo.
That's an interesting approach. I wish I could view it so simply. As she tears another fucking bloody strip of buffalo off. Just
This is just sitting there. Oh, yes, I'm just breaking you piece by piece. This will be great. Turning into a monster, and it's beautiful.
As you gather around the buffalo and consume its flesh, the night carries on. Somewhere, somehow, some other place, around the same time, we find Walter. I lied, it's not long at all. In New Traphis,
Yes.
we find him in a place that I think is quite likely. This place called the Zealous Dragon Bar. Just to give you some context, it's run by a half-orc named Ratanak, who once served under you, actually, Walter. Not under you, but with you, early in your career. This is before, like, you were actually... Or you guys were the equivalent rank at the time, I should say. That's the best way to put it. But apparently at some point, he retired and bought the tavern from the previous owner. This place was always a renowned drinking den in Walter's previous time in... what's this place called? New Traphis. I can't remember names. And one he was familiar with, but never visited it in an unofficial capacity. Though rumors spurred that enlisted men would sometimes sneak off there out of uniform to indulge in more than just booze. And Walter, you have found that out as we jump in to your good friend Ratanak Wallace, that is, who looks at you. Now, I know it's been some time, Walter here, but I know you're kind of a stickler back, but since we've been hanging out, it does look like you have loosened up a bit and, well, stiffened up a bit. Anyways, as he starts to point out, I got Fey Dust, as he points out, this like little like white powdery substance. I got some Wrathog over here, and there's like this little like black tar looking substance. I got Svef, which is like crystalline. I think, you know, classic pipe weed, of course, if that's what you're into. I got Dreamwaker, which well, these come in these little bottles. They're little chemicals. I think the artificers make them. Not sure. But they'll get you somewhere. And I got this. Oh, yeah, Euphoria. You just want to feel good, forget about all the shit that's going on, and just be happy. That's for you. But I got them in moderate prices, especially for a friend such as yourself.
So I do just want to say, in New Traphis, Walter wouldn't be showing his face in public because he is, as far as the people who tried to kill him know, dead, and lots of people would recognize him in the city. So, just for context sake, if he has been recognized and made contact with...
Then he would be using your alias. He'd be using an alias that you guys agreed upon in this context, then. What would that alias be?
No, it's probably something stupid. It's probably like the most...
What's Walter backwards?
The
most sinister of names.
Retlaw.
What's that?
Retlaw?
Could do Retlaw. It kind of works.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that doesn't sound too bad, and that kind of sounds like something very unimaginative soldiers would have come up with when they were drunk one night trying not to get caught by a superior officer.
Yeah. So, and in a little more discreet way, this place, you know, because of its low profileness and like general like debaucherous nature, it is actually a great place to hide because there are many quote-unquote faceless people here. So it does serve as a great place to hide. But because of your even further that Ratnak has you in his like back room area, which it's a back room, but the walls of this place are kind of falling apart, so you can still like peek out through some of the cracked like wall boards into the main area, which comes with advantages and disadvantages, of course. You can at least see out there, but it's more private than just being out there. Same time, he's got this selection of chemicals for you, and for some time, you know, you guys have been working together. He's kept you on the down low, kept you here for your time in the city. But now he's offering you drugs.
No drugs, Ratnak. Nothing. I'll stick with booze if you don't mind.
Of course, we got that, but hey, just consider you seem a little extra on edge lately. All these options are here anytime you need.
Out of curiosity, what does Euphoria do?
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, this is comes in these little tiny, almost like sugar-like substance, but it doesn't look like sugar. It's kind of like this. Oh, here, he pulls it out. And it's like this yellowy crystal, like it looks like salt or something, but like crystal, like crystals, yellow crystals, I should say. Color. I'm trying to say color. Yellowish crystals instead of like white salt crystals. And he holds it up. You pour some of these on your tongue. You just let them dissolve, and then give about 15-20 minutes. You'll be chipper no matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're, you know, normally down in the dumps all the time. Well, it depends on your constitution. But if you're not feeling it, just take more, and eventually you'll be feeling real happy.
I may come back to that one.
It's a goodie. And if you ever need to focus, take the Fey Dust. Get your mind right where you need. Just take a little snort, and you'll be straight as a line. In fact, I might do some right now. And he like clears off an area. You know, for old time's sake, give you a free line if you want it, or a bump at least.
I need a clear head, not a focused head, just a clear one.
You ain't had clarity like this before, that's what I tell you. But to each their own, and he snorts up pretty much all of the amount that he had there, and his eyes widen. He's, yeah, that'll do you. So, spend some time. You know, you're of course free to keep crashing on the basement down there. Got a good little thing going, and yeah, just weird to see you moving around again. What we haven't really talked much since you've been back. What was all that about?
You well, and Walter's gonna sort of pull open his shirt a little bit and reveal the wounds that like never really heal.
Huh. You should get that looked at. I ain't really a doctor, but
Take a closer look, Ratnak.
he looks much closer. What does he see as he looks at the wounds?
He would see that they're made from the back forward.
Oh! Can you see through the other side?
Yeah, I think very clearly it's like, you know,
Like
the entry of
blown
the
out?
wound is always worse than like the entry.
Yeah.
Or the exit is always worse than the entry. So I think if Ratnak is a veteran as well, he would be able to tell that this is clearly Walter got literally stabbed at the back.
Ooh. How are you alive?
It's a very good question.
I've seen some bad ones, but that looks pretty cut and dry to me. Only seen
No.
those on corpses.
Well, in the sake of honesty, your record hasn't changed.
Narrows his eyes and furls his mustache. You some sort of deado?
You can call it that. Remember the old stories of the bodies used to get up after wars, go looking for those who wronged them? The guy who lost his head.
Yeah, I pegged him for a deado for sure. That's peculiar.
It's,
I didn't think they would talk.
I think I'm still on the way, if that makes sense.
Oh, so you're eventually gonna just like all go? That's scary. You should definitely take some euphoria while you're, here and not all gone. This is definitely a time for drugs, actually.
You know what would really give me euphoria, Redneck? Oswald Berg. I know he's stationed out of here.
Yeah, I keep an ear out. But if you want to find somebody, I can help you with that, but man,
I need two
it's getting
things.
late for those kind of talks. Let's table it for now. For now, at least the talks of what that would mean. But let's open up another conversation on why do you even want to find this man, Oswald?
Walter's gonna give him a piece of paper with 4 names on it. Demovi Huertes, Wilston Caparate, Oswald Berg, and Torquil Camden. The first 3 are prefects, the last one is a legate. And Walter's gonna slowly start pointing. Torquil, Oswald, Wilston, Demovi.
All right. Okay, I recognize some of these names, yeah. But,
They sold me out, Radnak. Made a deal with the Dragonflight.
they sold out the Imperium, too, then. Traitors. I can't stand a goddamn traitor. You ever have to deal with a traitor before, besides these ones?
Not other than prison.
Yeah. We had a few of them after we kind of split up in our command. Had a few of them. Only way to deal with a traitor is you make an example of them.
That's my intention. I know Berg's the closest, so I need you to put out a call. The old, the grizzled, the angry. I know there's more than a few old soldiers here who frequent this place.
Yeah, a few familiar faces out there for sure.
I want to find him, and I'm going to kill him. Other than that, I need you to put out another message that a certain package has been delivered to the Morloff branch in the city.
Sir, so first message, as he like pulls out paper. Look for fellers. Catch it. And second message, a package. Who do I give this message to?
I've already dropped it off.
I would just tell people.
Put the message out on the streets. One Eye left a package for the bitch.
You got it.
At the Morloff branch. She's half as smart as she says she is. Okay, John.
You got it, old buddy. Well, here, take this, and he hands you a half-drunken bottle of whiskey. Well, don't on me. You get some rest for tonight. I'll get these balls a rolling here. But I want to hear that full story in the morning.
You'll have it.
He nods. All right, well, couch is yours. And he heads out back to the front to go back to his debaucherous activities with his cohorts. But as we zoom out once more, we jump over to Tilly's. Find yourself, it's been like roughly a week or so, you're just alone in your room at this point. It's late, it's later than you usually stay up, but something just feels uneasy. There's just an uneasiness in the air.
I think Tillis has been uneasy this whole time. As far as he knows, Walter is still coming from us at some point. So he has probably like used some gunpowder and booby trapped his window. He sets alarms. He doesn't really leave the tower at all. And he's got his lion there to smell for anything. But yeah, he's spending very little time outside. He's only going to rooms that he can like be clear out essentially, and he hasn't said much to or made any reports to Rodori yet, at least not to that end. He's talked about the blood, what they found from like the books a little bit, but he hasn't talked about everything else that happened there. So yeah, he is staying up a bit later. He's probably often messing with his weapon, and it's just hard to sleep.
As you're fidgeting, you hear, you see, phasing through the door, familiar servitor, Fey Dragon, Fairy Dragon rather, and he says, I noticed you're still awake. Need any refreshments? Or some more milk, perhaps?
Just some, maybe some watermelon juice if you have any.
Of course, Master Tillis. I will be right on it. And if you would like, I could even read you a retelling of Rodore's greatest accomplishments, if that is something that'll help you rest.
Do these dragons have good senses?
In what way? Like, are they perceptive?
Like, can they smell well? Can they see well?
Let me see. About a +3's worth.
Yeah, that's I think better than him. Like, yeah, if it's not too much to ask, I'd appreciate that.
And he hovers off to go find you some watermelon juice. Eventually returns. It is served, coincidentally, in a hollowed out coconut shell. And he's kind of taken the liberty of making this like tasty coconut watermelon, like fruity drink here. And he's put a little bit of essence of ether in there, help you sleep.
Oh, thanks. Has there been any big news in the last week? Anything you want to share?
Big news. I hear they just finished rebuilding the Morloft Bridge. That's good. So that's exciting. The estate has finished its repairs of the attack, and much of the city has finally moved on from those terrible events. But of course, they are dealing with now the new issues with the world wound. And sometimes the Norvestian Citadel can't keep these bands of demons fully contained, and some break out of the containment and roam the landscape. It's very not good.
what's Rodora doing right now?
I believe he is currently back at the Starfall Oasis, actually checking on the some business there.
Okay. I appreciate you coming in and checking on me these nights. It's nice to have a friendly voice.
Of course. You know, me and the other fairy dragons, we're always here to help. Goodbye.
Bye.
He phases back through the wall.
Yeah, I think Tillis gets into his bed, but he is sleeping with his gun.
In just a few short hours, the morning sun is already awakening those of you outside of the ruin. So, Tassandra and Marjolaine, you wake up from the end of your long rest. You can take your long rest now, though you only recover a quarter of the hit dice because this is not comfortable rest. Yes. It's new Morbius.
Wait, it
model.
landed
It's so
heads.
great.
Whoa!
Wait, what's the coin flip?
I don't know, but it landed heads. It never does. Oh, okay, you're muted.
Oh, yeah, okay, you're muted. You're muted, friend. Okay.
Okay, please.
You had said so much important things. Tell me,
Please, say it all.
how much K have
Do it
we
again.
missed?
Die in here. The one time I meant to actually do a self roll.
Mhm.
You're sleeping your sanity up to a fucking coin toss. Goddamn.
Oh, the change today is so bright on my screen.
Got bright.
It's very bright.
Yeah, I would actually restore one hit die.
There we go, a little dark. Still early.
I do think while we after we feasted or whatever and then eventually like went to sleep inside the building, Tess would try to attune to this sword if it needs it.
Boop, boop, boop. Yep, let me find your...
She doesn't know what it is or what it does,
oh.
just that it's magic, but she's
Just
going to
remember.
attune to it.
Walter,
requires
press C. Press C on your keyboard.
Boom! Oh wait, party location on this
Yeah,
map.
you have to deselect the party token on the map.
Yes, deselect the party token.
Boom!
Did it work?
It-
Not working?
Whoops.
Shame.
How do I deselect?
Just
Oh,
click and drag a square on
Click
the
and
map.
drag a square, yeah.
There we go.
Character sheet.
Yeah.
Doing it? Yeah!
He's whelmed.
He's very whelmed.
I was
I like
confused.
this.
I had
I
it
read
open
this
on another
last night in
screen.
one
That's
of our
how it
games.
closed.
And I like
Uh,
there's probably like an important role play scene. Is okay, hold on, everyone shut the fuck up for a minute. This is important. None of you care, but Oog, Mook, press C.
I did care.
see.
And they did, and they
It's
looked
so good.
stoic, and then they did, and their face just
It's amazing. It's
character
amazing.
sheet.
It's so
very
powerful.
impressive.
That's so
Very good.
useful. I can't
And the fact
describe
that
how
it's
cool
the
it is.
only key on the keyboard that does anything. A through Z, nothing does anything unless your WASD for moving stuff. But like just raw clicking the buttons, nothing happens except for C. Very
That is pretty
poggers.
cool.
I
Very,
forgot what I was doing because
very
of that.
poggers. Thank you, Oog.
Yes.
I'm
I think
trying to
Matt
attune to the
figured it
sword.
out.
Thank you, Matt.
He's a genius.
Yeah, I fat fingered the C key, or I fat fingered something on my keyboard, and my character sheet just boop, popped up, and I was like, oh, so that I just
What
pressed
did
every key
that?
on the left side of the keyboard because I fat fingered it with my left hand, so it falls the reason it was there. And then I was like, I played World of Warcraft, and I clicked C, and it worked.
Did it work? Good. Good
Genius.
stuff. It's great stuff.
Anyways, does this sword need attunement?
Oh right, that's what it was. Like, what was I looking at? And then inventory. Let me peek at the sword. Oh, is this one peak or is this one identify? Don't look at your inventory. Okay, good. That's peak. Good.
Cool. I pressed the C key and it closed it.
Oh.
It
Incredible.
does need. It can be attuned to.
Cool. She will attune to it regardless of what it does.
Cool.
I think you can
You
do
learn
that.
what it does when you attune to it.
Oh.
You're very hungry.
Ooh. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Then yeah, at some point when she finishes that, she's I think I'll have seconds. She's because before she ate quote unquote with the soul sight, but this time yeah, she's actually gonna fucking take a piece.
Yeah. It feels hearty. You feel
There
like
you
your
go.
body's
I actually
nourishing
don't
better
think that
with
she
it.
like physically eats the meat so much she just grabs like a bloody chunk of it and then like just drains all the
Drains it,
moisture
yeah.
out of it. Yeah.
And just leaves this weird, like,
Sick.
fleshy
Jerky.
skin sack jerky. Yeah.
Yeah.
A perfect flesh ball.
Yeah. So you both
Well,
awaken, and you see you know,
Cool.
Tess is already getting some, cutting off some meat with her new short sword. And yeah. Oh, it's not WCXified, by the way. You'll have to WCXify it. Should know.
The sword?
Yeah, it's a short sword.
Yeah. And I'm turning on that it needs it. Because that was not turned on. Now
It doesn't need attunement to function as a +1 weapon, but it does need attunement to do the other stuff.
yeah. Well, I attuned to it to know what the hell it is. So
Absolutely.
great.
we were like beside the ruin, right? Like we just went out to get food. and then-
Correct. This was like within a few miles of the ruin. Or like the buffalo was killed within a few miles of the ruin, I should say.
And then I presume that then we like took it back.
Yeah.
You know.
Marjolaine hugged it over her shoulder, one-handed, and just no problems.
It's very attractive.
Well, if we need to be traveling by foot, then I suppose Superman has room in the saddle.
Why would we
Uh,
travel on foot? You have a horse.
And how will you travel?
On the horse with you.
Can we fit 2 medium creatures on a horse?
It
Have you never ridden a
probably
horse with a passenger?
it'd probably slow it down a little bit, but yes, like it would go slower, but it would be faster than walking. So it'd be somewhere in between. It would actually have to rest more often. So yeah, be a little slower than walk, or be a little faster than walking, but it'd be slower than if you had another horse.
Okay, great.
Like in combat, probably not.
Yeah, that'd be dubious. You
Yeah.
probably fall off. Like it's able, like if you were in a combat situation, you would just fall off if the horse is sprinting around and like doing combat maneuvers. Because of fuck
But-
you, that's why.
For riding a horse.
Exactly. Horse logistics.
I'm a passenger.
Yes. But for this
Unless,
purpose,
of course, you don't want to share, and if you're fine with walking. I know I'm not.
alternatively, you could just tie a rope to yourself and just have the horse drag you.
True. You
Or
could
make
do
a
that.
sled, make like a sled, and then like lay down in the sled.
And
Should
ironically,
be
leisurely.
Laziness.
might actually make a sled from one of the, I don't know, wardrobe pieces upstairs. Make a sled for the carcass.
Oh,
I mean, I
was
could hunt every night. It was frankly enjoyable, but
great.
seems a waste.
I was planning on providing Brother Catherine a seat, but I suppose a sled is fine.
Are there any burial rituals you need to do after I speak with him, of course?
Yes, he should be returned to the earth. But for now, he'll accompany us. Maybe I heard his voice. It doesn't matter.
You could hear his voice sooner, if you wish. I'm capable now.
Sure. The morning activity. Good to
Right,
have a
speaking
regular
to your
merchant.
brother who was just killed however long ago. My condolences. Thought
It's all right.
perhaps it will shed light onto what was happening with Tillis.
Then let's disinter him. I'll start on his cart.
Yeah, when we go back, she'll speak with.
Yeah, gathering the corpse of Contemptor Tethrin. Faluk, you see his head is, well, what does the spell say? Still have a mouth. The mouth is, what would you say, like 20% of your head? This is like the bottom 20%. This is probably like 70% of my head,
Like
right?
you need to have like a jaw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like, it's like this part's still intact. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Doesn't need the rest of it.
I'll say I'm gonna roll it. Roll a D100. If you roll under 25, the jaw's intact.
Just to say, I mean, if Tess knew that this wasn't good enough, which I don't know if she did, could Marjolaine have just mended it? Because Marjolaine's got that super mending.
I mean, yeah, Tess knows
You'd have
about
to
the jaw
gather up
thing.
all the bits, but
It's all in kind of the general area.
Yeah, it would take some time, but you could. It would take like a more time to do it. But you probably could mend a skull back together low enough. It's an interesting point. That's a good use of that big mend. Yeah, it's a little fucked up. But
Come on,
theoretically,
Tillis,
your
you know
mending
better.
could do something.
If you could just reattach these pieces to there, and I mean, you don't have to reconstruct the whole face, just the speaking bit. You can do that, right? I mean, it's not a person anymore.
I've already failed Brother Tethrin once. I couldn't again. Isn't that right, Brother Tethrin?
You can ask him as soon as you
Let's
mend
find
his
your,
face.
let's find your pieces. And in one hand, she'll just drag around the pieces of Brother Tethrin, the corpse, and then in the other hand, she'll pick up any pieces she can find.
It's just like a skull piece, brain matter, meat.
Yeah, just to reiterate, you don't need all of it, just the jaw. I don't even think you need
I
all of your
to
teeth.
gather as much as I need.
You know what? Sure. I'll help.
And she just gathered any little bits of skull she could find.
Yeah, like just to give a visual here, like the entire head, like point blank from a handgun blast, just obliterated the head, and it like watermeloned out. So it's kind of like all over there.
Well, if it's in a 5-foot area, that's
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like roughly sweep it together, and then
Well, luckily, all like
you
the
could.
gross bits of dried out and stuff over a week.
that's true.
So we're not having to
Just
like
slightly
mop them
rotten.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't really need the flesh either.
Well,
But I'm not going to
after
stop
as you put the mending thingy in the thing, just to make sure the wording's all good here. I believe
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, let me throw mending itself, and then I will throw the extra. And you know what? This is actually hilarious. It's called Good as New.
Fixed.
Fixed.
Yeah, Marjolaine will gather what pieces she can, sweep them towards the body.
Yeah, if it can fix a cloak, and a cloak can be made of leather, that's organic material. So I don't know why I wouldn't be able to do a dead body.
Or a leaking wineskin, which is
Yeah,
definitely leather.
yeah. So they can do organic material, allegedly, as long as it's dead and not a creature.
It's be an object.
Which you're an object when you die. Wait, you no wait.
Mhm.
You know you become an object when you die. You do become an object
Yeah,
when you're a
your
corpse. A
corpse
corpse
is
is
an
both
object.
a creature and an object. Yes, for spell purposes.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And she will take out Brother Tethrin's own holy symbol, because all of hers are gone.
Which, interesting enough, just to kind of affirm, I don't know if a spell exists like this, but because of that, I think if a spell said it cannot target a creature specifically in there, even though the corpse was an object too, you still couldn't target that corpse.
Because it was also a creature.
It's
Sure.
also a creature. It's like kind of a double type. Yeah. But I don't think there's a spell like that. But it's a good clarification to think about, and vice versa.
Cool. Great. And then I'll speak with Dead.
And then I'll speak with that, yes. As the head, with casting the spell, yeah, the pieces reconstruct, and the head is almost, well, it's as good as new.
It's still Tess jamming her hand in there, and
Yeah, right,
like an animated
right
hand
after it's
puppet.
constructed, it's like being constructed, and then like in mid reconstruction of the head, a hand goes in, and the hand reconstructs around it. And it's like a little bit there, then the rest falls off. But hey, there you go. As the head is like.
Yeah, it looks like Tess is like elbow deep in like his sternum. And presumably her hand is going up his neck.
Marshall is just stroking the top of the head, if any of that got reconstructed.
Yeah, the whole head got reconstructed. 5 foot. Yeah, the whole thing's there. It's like it actually looks. You'd be a great mortician, actually.
Right. Brother Tethran, I don't have time to explain exactly what's going on, but I'm sure you can infer. What happened when you die?
I was sleepy, and then awoke by a rod. I could not move it in my mouth. I couldn't speak. There was a boy, confused, angry. I tried to explain, but he couldn't hear me with the rod, and he unleashed fury from his firearm into my skull, and that's where it went dark.
You were sleeping. Why?
He looks to you. You did it.
Right. How many of these do I get? Not asking
Two
him.
so far.
I was like, how many do I
get
have?
5.
Okay, fine.
That's
fine.
your third.
That counts.
I'm sorry, was I talking to you?
This is
your
like a
fourth.
genie
That's your
sitch.
fourth question. And no, you weren't. Is the answer.
And the child, did he allude to where he would go afterwards?
After the darkness, it was nothing. All I remember was the flash. Nothingness.
Well, Marjolaine, those vaguely answer my questions. Tulus was clearly upset
I think
and
that's 4, right?
confused. That's 3.
3.
Was clearly upset and confused about presumably what had happened to me. And it seems he blamed your brother here. Are there any questions you have for him? I believe I have 2 more.
You turn to Marshall, and she is just fucking sobbing and patting this guy's head, and just like talking under her breath. And I guess you understand Celestial, and you just hear her like apologizing to Tethran, and she just fucking, she is gone.
Right, well, I will improvise. Brother Tethran, do you have any regrets in life that you wish you could have done before your end?
I saw a spark of the Fate Weaver working in Lady Marjolaine. I wished I could have seen it through to the end.
This is your last chance, Marjoline. If you have a question, now is the time. Otherwise, I will do it. Fine, if you do not know, perhaps we will ask him. Brother Tethrin, what would you ask of Marjolaine with your final words? She is here with you. She's gonna fucking right in the head like a fucking owl and face him towards Marjolaine.
Did I do something wrong to deserve this fate? Was I not worthy of seeing the Three's plan?
Of course you were. I'm sorry that I couldn't.
The head rolls back and the life leaves.
I'm sorry. And she's just cradling the head in her hands.
Did I goof? What do you
No. It was just that the idea that you give him a question, then he asks two. It's a reverse of the joke. See, that's why it's funny.
Oh, that means I get another one. Great, and she'll pull her hand out of his carcass. Right, well, that was enlightening, I suppose. It's a shame that he went out unsatisfied. Would have been nice for him to just say it was great and to not harbor any ill will towards Silvis, but I suppose that's not going to happen, huh?
Of course not. He didn't get to finish anything. I don't know how they make choices. Why would Brother Tethrin, also unfulfilled, stay here? Seems unfair. And she'll just stand up and holding Tethrin with one hand.
Right, well, I'm going to go prep the cart with the horse and leave you two alone. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help with the burial rites, but...
He can't be buried yet. He has to come with us.
Right, you can throw him on the cart next to the buffalo, I suppose.
Of course.
Does your horse get tired?
No.
No!
You might be able even to say that my horse is relentless. And incredibly strong.
You know, I understand what it means to have a relentless and incredibly strong horse. Okay, Ian,
I see that.
do you at least want to take some of Tetherin's armor off? I mean, this just seems cumbersome. Perhaps we can repurpose it for you or something.
We could try, certainly. Suppose he isn't using it. You wouldn't mind.
Fun fact about what happens to a corpse that's been in armor for a week. It's not like the most unfeasible thing, but it's a little bit of fusion. Just a little bit of fusion of like the gear and the clothes and the metal to the corpse.
Don't even
stuff.
worry about it. I'm very experienced at removing sinew from metal. Fucking fillet this corpse off the metal. Scoop him, shuck him like an oyster if I have to. Tess has no tact with this type of thing.
I'd be more concerned about the goopage. The center of that like chest piece.
It's just about how much of the remains you want to bring with you, and how much you want to leave behind you in like a pile of goop.
Well, I could just, scrape him out of it like refuse, and then you could just piece him back together with your silly magic.
It seems he doesn't want to let go of it.
Oh,
I'll ask him later. Come,
You know-
Brother Mithrin.
you know what they always
There's a
said
long
to me
day
when
of
I was
travel
young?
ahead.
It was about asking for forgiveness rather than permission.
It doesn't seem that Tethrin received any forgiveness. When
No
he did
permission.
ask. It's all right. And Martin will just drag him along the floor to go build a cart out of scraps.
Yeah.
A sled, I suppose.
It takes some time, but you guys can get a rudimentary craft going. Make a survival check to see how much time it takes. Or if you had a more appropriate skills that you wanted to use here.
How would you feel about a strength-based survival where I can tear apart things to make carts?
Like it.
Cool.
Can I give it advantage?
Because you're so strong.
Because I'm half proficient? We're like, no.
You
Break
gotta
it to
pull
that.
that leverage. Yeah, you can give advantage, sure.
Supervising.
You can roll
Oh, no,
once
rather,
more.
I'm inspiring.
Oh.
Even better.
Yeah. It only takes a good couple of hours, really, and you get this thing and you get attached up to Zubari. It's not a cart as much as it is a bed attached to a horse that can hold things and drag them across the ground at a slow rate. But it gets the job done. It transports things.
Great.
Yeah.
I will slough Brother Zuperi. I mean, Brother Tethrin and the buffalo onto our sled.
As you mount up, where
Tessa immediately sitting side saddle in Marjolaine's lap.
are
I'm
you
no bigger
headed?
than me, so.
Your first destination.
Back to, I guess we gotta find the road first.
It's true. You remember, like,
East.
orientation, that there was a road east of here.
Yeah.
And since you've traversed the country before, it wouldn't be so hard. But survival check, whoever's leading the navigation. But it's a very easy DC.
Essentially go east until we find the forest, and then follow the edge of it south, and we will reach Salimbria.
Of course.
Oh, but one of you make a survival check because it's still navigating. But it's just very easy. But as a case.
You're my Uber driver, you do it.
Hey,
I don't want to.
Oh yeah, all you needed was way less than that. So you managed to find yourself way back to the road. How 180 miles? Let's see. How long is this gonna take?
2 days.
Horse. You going at fast pace or normal pace?
I don't think we can't go fast, right? Because we're 2 people and a sled of carcasses.
That's a good way to count as a slow down. You can only move at a normal pace. Yeah, that makes sense.
600 miles.
600 miles. It's a 600-mile trek. Casual 600-mile journey through the wilderness. So
That's
that'll
my-
see you on a
alt-
6-day or. Sorry, what was that?
See, that's my new alt goth band. 2 ladies on a horse with a sled of corpse. And our first track is going to be called Casual Wilderness.
That's perfect.
600 miles.
600-mile journey, casual jaunt through the wilderness. That's gonna be a roughly a week of travel, roughly, to get back to town from here. So we'll abstract that a little bit by saying, are you just gonna be hunting and consuming the buffalo?
Yeah,
Could
and I
probably
imagine once we get
get you
closer to the forest, it'll
there.
be even easier
Yeah.
to find food.
We'll say you get here pretty easily within the few days of travel, which we're gonna kind of go through here. 1, 2, 3 days. It's a new month. It's Mog, month of Mog, which is the
Where we're
equivalent of
going,
May.
you're
so
noticing
it's
Tess is
summertime.
eating a freakish amount. One might
Oh,
say.
true.
twice as much as she would normally need. She's
Yeah.
just gorging herself on this stuff, just like taking full like flanks off of this thing and just draining it completely.
And 3 days in, you are you have now pretty much picked this carcass clean, and it's discarded the flesh. But on this day, you'll need to make another survival check to try to hunt.
I got this one. I insist.
And yes, it will be easier near the forest lands here.
Do you want me to do the stealth again?
You can do that well, yeah. Stealth works good for a hunting alternative because it makes sense. Was that your attempt 13, Marjolin, as well?
No, that was
No,
my
that was the navigation.
Okay, gotcha. Right. Did you want to help, like give aid, or did you want to do your own thing for hunting? Because you find essentially Tess comes back empty-handed. You could give her aid, and she could try give another attempt, or you could go out yourself.
Yeah, Marshall will give it a try. She will tuck away Brother Tethrin. Let him know that she'll return shortly.
Don't worry, I'll watch him.
Oh yeah, pretty quickly out in the journey, you find a deer that is prancing through the woods. Probably a mother deer, probably a baby deer somewhere nearby who's about to be Bambied. Now Bambi that deer, and you do somehow. How do you do it though? I want to know how you Bambi that deer.
I think, I've got the deployable greatsword, and I think Marjolaine hasn't gone feral, so she's basically waiting. She finds the deer, sort of probably in like some sort of slightly brushy clearing, and then sort of just slowly advancing, trying to be as calm as possible until she can literally just deploy the greatsword into it.
Yeah, and then with a it falls pretty quickly, and it's dead. Pretty clean cut, pretty clean kill, and you guys have deer for the rest of your journey. With that will be enough for you to progress, and we'll just kind of say at that point,
How many days have we been traveling?
3 days at this point to get to like where you had a hunt or so, and then the 4 days is going to be the rest of the leg of the journey.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's Tri-Helm's Day as you approach the outer edges of Celebrimbria. We're gonna go here. Appears to be a little different on this map in that before we do anything on this map, I'm going to ask Tilis, where were you right now at 8 a.m. on a Tri-Helm's Day?
The Tower of Verdori, always.
Always. Never leave, I've learned.
Never leave.
It's terrible. Oh, look. Shift.
There's
Look,
a
I
big
put you-
duck outside. I'm scared.
Look at that, using the power of shift. I can put you actually
Power
on
of
the tower.
shift
Looks great.
in the palm of my
Power
hand.
of shift. Oh. And then we're going to put... actually, yeah, we'll put that one there because you two are coming in together. But for funsies, have them solo for now. So, you two arrive on the western front of town here. Why did I put this in feet? Why did I make this feet? 2,500 feet. Is that like half a mile?
I think
Roughly a mile is
5280.
5,280 feet.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
roughly. It's like roughly. So I'm gonna say just 1/2. Oh wait, no, 0.5 miles. That makes. Whoa! What have I done?
You've pissed on the world.
How
Celebrity's covered in
Regardless.
piss.
did I
Whoever
do
does
this?
experiment is like
There you
terrible.
enter my magical realm.
What did this?
Welcome to the plane of piss.
It's the duck up by the Tower of Verdor. We
What's
gave him
done
too much
this?
time.
Oh, changing to miles instead of feet has made everything
No, it didn't
terrible.
like it. It didn't like miles. It liked feet. I don't know why I did this. I don't see any reason I did this. I'm actually really
Is there a
confused.
reverse option? Is there a control Z?
Not for this, unfortunately. Let me try something. Let me try something. Let me just try something. Let's activate over here. We all just go over here.
Oh, nice.
Let's just go back.
Oh,
over.
piss!
It's so
Oh,
piss.
nothing but piss.
Fuck.
Look,
And duck.
Change it back to feet. Still in
Look how
miles.
guilty he looked.
let's jump back over to
No,
this
just kidding.
map,
Ah, nice. Enjoy this.
and let's see if I change this one to miles. If that
yes,
also does
dark
it.
mode.
I can get behind this map.
5 miles.
My favorite part
Look,
of this map is
that'll
the
be
beach
fine.
cock.
I'm so confused about why this has happened. Wall height.
With tiny
dome,
balls.
Daylight color. Darkness level.
That's a lump.
That's the balls.
That's the ball.
That's the growth.
It's lost to the other one in the war.
Well, at any rate, it's hard to look at this yellow map, so I guess we're just gonna use this map instead.
All right.
Hang on. Let me copy you guys over, and we're just gonna use this one for now. Boop. Where did this go? To these. And then shift adjust yourself.
Wow,
You do
shift.
it. You do it.
Huh.
Nice. All right. I'll fix that other map later. I don't know what that fuck that happened there. We'll use this. We'll use this one. That kind of threw me off. You arrive in Slimbria, the city of the bow, everyone's favorite. You're outside of Old Town, in fact. Or Vetispidium. At the edge of the gates, the destination you go next is yours. Yes. Well, I tried to fix. Nope, still yellow when I make a copy of it. Very strange. Yeah, we'll just have to fucking re-upload that, I guess, later. But anyways, where are you guys going?
Sorry, I'm reconstructing the duck. There you go, good enough.
Duck.
Yeah, obviously we're going to find Tillis at the Tower of Rodori. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
You should go speak to Tillis. Brother Tethrin and I have work to do.
Well, I have no intentions of going alone.
I
I feel
see.
you need to be there for this.
Then I suppose you can help me with Brother Tethrin first.
A guardsman runs up to you. Lady Morlock, is that you?
It is.
Oh,
Who asks?
all of the guards were told to keep a lookout for you. There's a message waiting for you back at your, whatchamacallit?
House?
Your house? Yeah.
Wonderful.
Man didn't know the word for house?
Yeah.
And he's a guard? Oh, House Olymbria has fallen.
You know,
It's all the yellow light. It's making people forget.
it's all the lighting. It's just blinding out here. I'm sorry, just distracted by the sudden change in ambience here. It's weird. Think the
Great,
sun's
noted.
exploding or something? I'm not sure.
It's just raining piss every day.
The city of piss.
Seems
Anyways,
there is no dew here.
only piss.
Only piss. Right. I'm impressed that you remembered this and caught me from so far, but good work. Any information on it, or just a letter?
We were told to look out for little Lady Morlock because you haven't been seen in like a week or so, and get your
3
message.
weeks.
Whatever.
And who told you this?
We were just paid by the mayor.
Great.
Or the Basilius, I should say. I'm new years a god. Learning new things about your culture, what things are called.
house is relatively important, but okay,
Yep.
thank you. You may leave.
Cool. See you later.
God, I hope not. So, yeah, I have nothing but time.
Great. Then let's find a butcher.
I'm sorry, what?
If you have nothing but time and you wish to help me, then I'm looking for a butcher.
Okay. God, where is a butcher?
Nearby.
I lived
You
here for
feel.
3 years. Where the fuck is the meat guy?
You know of a number of meat guys. You're.
Oh, you know what? I know just the person to see. He lives in a bungalow over in the cock area of this place.
He has no arms, you see.
Walked around as I said that with no context.
It's very far away. I figured we could find one in Old Town.
You could find one in Old Town for sure.
Oh,
There's a
probably
bunch in
right.
Old Town. There's
And
one called Old Town. I don't want. I almost said Schmeats, but meats, not Schmeats.
Old Town
Old
Schmeat
Town
Locker.
Schmeats. The Old Town Meats. See, I don't like putting. I'll have to just remember to transfer the markers over, back to the other one. But like back to the piss map once the map's not pissy. But it's right over yonder. This is the it is. Old Town Meats.
Martin will unhook the sled from Zuberi and leave him by the gates, and then she'll kick all the animal carcasses off of it, and then drag it herself.
Do you want me to lead the horse or just...
Don't touch my horse. She's just gonna
Sure.
drag this corpse to Old Town Meats.
Take my horse to the Old Town
the follow
Meats.
at a safe distance?
You do.
So Old Town Schmeats.
To the Old Town Streets, 2 miles into town. You head to Old Town Meats. There, you see a hearty butcher. He's a big, bulbous human who looks like he's eaten plenty of meat himself, and he's wearing a classic butcher's bib and outfit. And looks at you, you want meat? I want meat.
Yes,
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to go to the bungalow?
something raw.
Yeah, that's all of it. Well, some of it's smoked.
No, I would like something raw.
Raw meat, we're going pork, beef, fish. Also do fish, I'm like a fishery too. So really, it's like meat, that's why we call it Old Town Meats, because it's meats and fishes, which we consider meats.
And Marshland will look back at Brother Chethrin just for a moment. Pork. Whatever one.
Pork.
for me.
Here's a fine pork chop. Only cost you 2 silver.
Give me
One.
5 of them.
5
1
of
silver
them?
each for bulk.
1 silver each for bulk, 5 of them. That's about a pound of pork chops. Alright.
Good. And Martin will take the raw meat and she'll turn her test.
You negotiate
That's not
good.
bad.
You ever looking for a job, little lady? I could use someone to run the store.
I appreciate your offer. I'll keep it in mind. Though I don't think you want me selling your stuff for cheap.
Good. Oh.
The
Only
butcher is
selling it
just
for
wearing
more
his
expensive.
back.
Anyway,
Whatever.
meat. Here
Tessa's
you go.
paying for it.
And it gives you a pound of meat. So it's like a ration's worth of food. But it's all pork chop.
And Martin will lean down to Brother Chethrin. Got you something to eat, just like you asked. And she'll shove it in his mouth, and she'll say, "Okay, well, you wanted to go to a bungalow?
No.
You get some strange looks from people walking by on the street as you do this, and they make a wide berth to avoid you.
Anyone who even like vaguely looks like they might approach or say something, I'm gonna try to give them just the death glare that only a vampire spawn can do.
Specifically,
Just
one
give
that
them
died.
that, like, see if I can have that instinctual, like, that's a no-go zone type of thing.
Yeah, it works. It's a sight that not many people, not even some of these guards, want to deal with.
Okay,
So you just wanted to feed him,
he asked me for food.
right? So the burial rites.
He doesn't want to go yet. Let's find your
Are
friend.
we taking him to Redores to meet with Tillus?
He goes where I go.
Right. No, I think that's more fitting so that Tillus can see what he's done.
They can
It
make
will
a
add
proper introduction.
weight to my scolding.
And Marjolaine will drag the sled.
You know, Marjolaine, as I said before, I just wish to reiterate that I take full responsibility for Tillus's actions. I'm not one, but I feel a sort of motherly responsibility for the boy. I sort of shaped him in what I assumed were his formative years, and then unfortunately turned him over to that pompous idiot clearly too early, and he has gotten impulsive, which is a misjudgment on my part. And I wish to assure you, I will discipline him appropriately. But whatever lashings that you would wish to impart, I would ask that you do them upon me. He is my job.
Sometimes our families do the worst damage of all, don't they? It's hard to raise children.
It's so hard. I mean, I've heard all the old wives' tales about how difficult it is, child rearing and all of that, and it just seemed exaggerated. I mean, I've brokered deals with people all over the city. I have to speak with nobles as a young woman, can you imagine? But turns out, all right. Children are shits. Especially boys.
Oh. Brother Catherine says that he had some kids too. Doesn't like them either.
Great. I'm glad to have some similarities with Brother Catherine. So, anyways, I'm simply reminding you of this in hopes of you keeping your emotions in check as an elder. He is still a child.
Good to be prepared for all things. It's okay.
Right, and do be aware he is a powerful child, as I'm sure you have experienced.
I have.
Right, so. Anyways, we'll figure this out.
Yeah, you guys start heading over there. It's gonna take you, the power of
3
paths.
days.
3 days to walk over there. Power of paths.
Well, luckily there's Zupari
True.
over here.
Ooh. Do your path. Do your magic paths, magic men, with your magic connecty path to do distances. Good, good, good. Very nice. Ah, you failed.
No, I have to zoom out, damn it.
That's through a mine.
It's a race now. Oh,
Oof.
You'd have to go this way down this outer gate here to go around.
What?
Not you. There's a gate there too. I was talking to Marjolaine, who was pointing towards the mines, through the mines.
Oh, I was going this way because this is where Zupari is.
No, you're all good. You're all good.
Okay. And this way to the duck. And then to the tower.
10 miles ish. Oh, 2,
15.
4. Yes, like 15 miles. Cool. So that'll take about a couple of hours, like two or so hours of just walking around town to get over there. And you, as you start to make your way over there, Tilly's, as you're in your room, you hear a knock at the door. Tilly's. Are you in there?
Yes,
May I come in?
of course.
There Adore stands in all of his glory. Glory.
God, I hate it.
So,
I
Fucking
love
hate
that
this
so
mustache.
dear boy, I feel our studies, my experiments have kept you away from me, away from some time, and I know you've been busy on your own. How goes my apprentice's dutiful studies? I'm just checking in on you, boy.
I found a lot of interesting information in our last venture.
I heard a little bit about it, but most of it busy. Anything you want to tell old Rodore? Don't really have a good nickname going, but you know.
I'm not sure how much you read, but I've been experimenting with celestial blood. I found a book while in a tomb of sorts that seems to suggest that if you can fully replace your blood with the celestial blood, you'd reach immortality.
I heard people explode doing that.
After experimentation, there was a machine for exchanging the blood, and I don't think I fully extracted the one survivor's blood before I replaced it, so he did explode.
You be careful with all those blood transfusions. And, again, people exploding don't want you to explode. So you should have like a test first. You should test someone else, make sure they're immortal, and cautionary, typical cautions. You could do an animal, but it won't work as well because, what if it makes the animal blow up, but it wouldn't make you blow up or something? It's best to find a race like similar to you, so another human, similar build, probably another child like yourself would probably be the best test subject.
Yeah, of course. Measure twice, cut once.
Correct. Yes, none of that crazy lit shit, doing it on your own, turning yourself into stuff. That's never a wise course to this.
Oh,
You must do the due process. It's worth the work to do it the right way.
there was a basin that had quite a bit of the celestial blood. It's probably not still good anymore, but I was back.
There's plenty of celestials out there, and there's plenty of foolish clerics who are willing to summon them for... I don't know, you just have to really convince them. They're not very bright.
How much blood is in the vials I have?
How many vials do you
I've
have?
got 13, and they
Each
are...
vial is a liter?
They're a leader. Nice. I believe I do have enough here to do further experiments. If you think there's any way we could get a test subject, or I can try to find one.
That's for you to figure out, dear boy. And you have all of my resources at your disposal. Well, not all of them. Some of them at your disposal. And soon, one day, you'll get your own resources, and then it'll be so great we can collaborate. Hopefully, I'll still be alive, but
I would
who
need to
knows?
rebuild one of these tables if I could just get the resources to maybe start that.
Start the work, send me the costs as you go, and we'll see if we can fit it in the budget.
Of course.
Seems like worthwhile research. Did this have anything to do with your giant friend, the one... Where is she, by the way? I was so curious about her. I told you to keep an eye on her.
Yes. I'm sorry. It's the worst news of all. Walter, the one I was traveling with, he seems to have slain her.
Well, did you recover the body at least?
He was defending the body, and I had, unfortunately, been a bit quick with my spells, so I was not at full power to take him on.
You must get better at tempering out your allowances, but do not worry. In time, your reservoirs will grow, so you'll have more power to call upon. You have not reached your pinnacle yet.
I hope not. I do worry. I think he, I don't know. He had such a crazy look in his eye. I'm not sure if he's. It's haunting, honestly.
Well, I don't have time to give you a play-by-play coaching on this whole thing, but my general advice when it deals with adversaries, study them, learn their weaknesses, and then eliminate them using those weaknesses. So, first thing you have to do, go learn about them, whatever they are.
Do you have anywhere where I might be able to read up on?
The library is at your disposal. Anything you should have access to, you do.
Would it have information about our military members?
To what records I could keep, which is a fair amount, yes.
Oh, perfect. I'll go check those as soon as I'm able.
Well, before you go, and he puts his hand on your shoulder, I wanted to reassure you that you will grow more powerful. You will get access to more reservoirs. Not if you continue to act foolishly and get yourself killed. Don't die out there, Tillis. Otherwise, all of my time will have been wasted.
I assure you, sir, though I did have to escape, I escaped unharmed. And, next time,
Sometimes it's all you can do.
the improvement will be to make sure we succeed.
Never, ever, ever go out there without at least one card up your sleeve, and always keep it there. And if you have to use it, that's the one. That means you need to not be going out for a while. Stay in your tower. Towers are good, is my point. These towers, I built this tower and other towers for a reason. There's a reason wizards build towers, by the way, because people out there, they don't get what we're doing. They don't understand. And they're going to try to fuck with you. So,
Sir, has there
Get a
ever been
tower.
a time where you had to use, I don't know, like 2 of your cards?
Maybe in my younger days, but now I have so many, the deck is stacked.
Of course. Guess that's why you carry 3 or 4.
And that's why I have all my towers,
And the towers.
which have teleportation circles to get between them. Very handy.
I think constructing this device will hopefully go a ways to helping me one day build my own tower,
Indeed. Then
Well-
you can begin your true studies.
where I'll have a number of blood transfusion machines,
Architecture. That's what
as
it's
many
about.
as the eye can see.
That's why we wizards do it all. We're really just architects. We like to build towers. But anyways, I better get going. I think I have something going on in Ethos or something. I don't know. Some giants are doing shit down there. I'm gonna go over there for a while.
Okay,
Bye.
goodbye.
And he wanders off. But after a few hours of he's wandered
I
off.
think like immediately after that conversation, he would go to the library and start trying to look into Walter.
You go to the library, and as you do, you are greeted by a fairy dragon. A few hours into your studies, you start looking into stuff. So actually, before we go, go ahead and make a investigation check to see what you can dig up about the Walter within the archives of Redore here. You would find the basic military record, which, Walter. I'll let you decide how much context is here, but this would just give you the basic military record of maybe his most prominent accomplishment. What do you think Walter's most prominent accomplishment would have been?
Well, I guess it kind of depends on what kind of records Redore keeps, because would Redore keep just the records of the stuff that Walter had to do for him? Because Walter did a couple of military ventures where Redore kind of abused his relationship with the military to get shit done, or would he keep full records?
He would have essentially both. Redore has access to the internal, any records the Imperium would have had on you. He has those, but Tillis hasn't found all of the records that Redore has on you. He has found some that say your basic service history and your most notable accomplishments, and generally who you are, but maybe not everything that's unveiled there. Just some of the most like notable highlights is what he's uncovered at this point.
So, considering he didn't have my last name, I guess probably he would find my last name being Greaves. And then he would know that Walter graduated sort of top of the class, essentially, from Officers Academy. He would know that Walter was clearly on the fast track of he gets shits done, and the top brass likes him for that. Top accomplishment is probably leading a full campaign and returning victorious, probably a significant battle against the Dragonflight. And there's also probably a series of records from maybe 6 or 7 missions where Rodori, well, before Walter became a full prefect, he kind of got passed off to Rodori as a low-level prefect. And it was a lot of like, go here, collect these rare random materials for me, or like, go murder this wizard that I don't like for me. And so it's a lot of like, Rodori saying, go hunt down this thing that I'm too busy to do.
Here's a fetch quest.
Yeah, and then Walter showing up covered in blood and being like, here's 1,000 pixie wings, I'm never working for you again.
But look, reputation increase. You're so close to your new mount. Come on, continue the grind.
It's the only thing that keeps you going.
Walter's like ghost horse is actually for Rodori.
It's like a reward mount that you got for grinding up enough rep. Yeah.
That's why no one else has a horse like this, because no one else would fucking do this.
No one would go through the grind.
It's just a horse that doesn't get tired, but you can only use it for like an hour. It's shit.
You're welcome.
I'm just imagining like Walter was the only prefect to show up the 3rd time Rodori like requested somebody by name. Rodori was like, right, you actually showed up? I keep trying to kill you.
Well, you find all those little details, but as those details are like you're coming across the page, you're immediately interrupted by like the something of the one of the fairy dragons coming up and saying, it's a different one. Hey, there's some visitors here for you. They said they know you. They're at the gate.
Did they give them...
Oh, don't yell at me, I'm sorry! And it flees.
Okay. Well, it's... Yeah. Okay. It's probably just Reuven. And, he'll get up, and he'll go to his line, and he'll go outside.
Coming out to the front, you see... Standing at the other end of the gateway is closed. Well, actually, before we get to that, you two, let's get to your approach. You two both approach the edge of the tower gateway of Rodori. You see a little, like, floating fairy dragon looks at you, flies down to you, and says, Hi. Are you here on official business?
Yes. We're here to see Tillis.
Okay. Rodori's not here, so I'll just go ask. Tillis might not be here either.
He's here.
I'm gonna go check. Stay here.
Sure.
And the story from there is known. He returns. Hi. You can come in. Well, no, you can't come in. You can stay here. And he flees away again. And eventually, you're left for a few minutes while Tillis makes his way out, like down the tower and stuff. So that interaction happens, and you two are now waiting at this gateway.
Rodori does love to make us wait. You'd think for someone so close to death, he'd be a little bit less monotonous.
Suppose he has other priorities.
You see Tillis emerge on his white lion, and Tillis, as you get closer to the edge of the gateway, you see you're about a half a mile off. But like, you see 2 figures. One on a horse, looks like a pig lady,
Since it's been about a week, could I have gotten? I can use the gold if you want, but could I have gotten the resources to resummon Owly?
Yeah, just pay 35 gold or whatever it is for.
I think
total.
just 10.
Yeah. 10 gold, whatever it is. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well then, yeah. I don't think it's too alarming right now, so he's probably gonna get closer. But as soon as he like starts to get like the idea that person is way too big, that's probably Marjolin, and that person looks anything like Tess, he's gonna send Owly to get a closer look.
Yeah, and as soon as you get close, you two see Tillis approach. He's about probably like a few hundred feet, maybe like 1,000 feet away, and you see him sending the owl forth and just kind of squinting at you guys. What are you two doing?
Great, he's sending his fucking bird.
Oh. Well. Here. Sit up. Marshland is gonna prop up of Jethrin in his sled.
Fuck.
Yeah, and then you kind of get him kind of hunched over. It's like his head's like slack a little bit, but you get him propped up, and the bird flies in. Until as you see, confirming your suspicions, Dysandra and Marjolin, both alive, seemingly, with the corpse
Let's open the
of
fucking
the
gate.
knight you killed, the contemptor you killed.
The gate is still closed.
Correct.
Can he hear Tess?
Yeah, shouting.
She's
You're within
shouting at the
range.
bird.
Well, then Tillis from himself is gonna be like, "Who are you?"
Tillis, I'm not having a conversation with you through the bird.
I'm not getting any closer.
Really?
You both are dead.
Well, clearly we're not. Tillis, I'm just fine. If you wish to stay here with the old man, I just want my shard back and then I'll leave.
I don't have
That's a lie.
the shard.
No, I won't. What do you mean you don't have the shard? It wasn't there when I came back.
Walter was going to kill me. I left.
Tillis, I already said I'm not having a conversation with the bird.
Give me 10
I'm putting my
minutes.
foot down. No more bird conversations.
I'm gonna need 10 minutes before I open this gate.
For what?
I want to make sure you're not a doppelganger.
Oh, Jesus, Tillis, okay.
Yeah, Tillis is going to cast his detect magic ritually.
So you see him like get off the mount and just slowly start to spread out the spell here. Rotor.
And once he's got it up, he will approach, but he's on the lion. He's having the lion like move backwards, like walk backwards, and he's giving the lion the command, when I say so, if I say run into, go to the tower, escape. So the lion's like always holding a dash action, and he is going to approach with the detect magic up, but also just because if this is really Marjolin, he just wants to be a threat. So he's going to kind of hold his Earthbind scroll out, much like he did the Disintegrate. And he's just hoping that that is enough to like give the idea that I'll do it again. But yeah, he wants to try to get within 30 feet, but he doesn't want to get any closer than 30 feet just to see if what magic is affecting them.
You're like, you've gotten about 30 feet, the gate's still closed, and you detect the magic. It's all the familiar magics that you'd be familiar with, nothing too outlandish. From what you can tell, same magical signatures that you'd recognize, except Marjolin does seem a little more celestial than normal.
That idea like runs wild in his head. Yeah, he's gonna
Steel yourself, champion of Dew. The decisions you make in the coming moments will shape the future or destiny.
Margarine, your hair is fine. Don't fuss with it.
Uh, Actually, ooh, before I get too close, can I have a chat with the Red Shadow?
God damn it! Everyone's got a voice in their
Beastmaster.
fucking head.
You're finally calling in. It's been some time. Sit rep.
Shadow, I don't know if you know what's happening out here, but
Not
these
really,
two
I've been in
are
the back of your mind for a long time.
dead.
That's insane.
Yeah, I know.
What's going on?
I'm trying.
That's fucking
Tillis,
crazy.
get out of here. It's too dangerous.
Listen, Red Shadow, you know about weird magic, and you also, I assume, know about keeping
you
yourself
need to seek the
safe.
League of Heroes, Tillis. They're the only ones that can help you now.
Where are the League of Heroes?
The League of Heroes are a secret organization dedicated to justice and protecting the culture and the values of the Imperium. The true values of the people.
What are the values of? Okay, no, I
I'm
know.
sleepy.
Okay, great. Always a big help. Thank you so
I'm
much.
getting a little dizzy.
I'm gonna talk to the guy who exploded more.
Wait. The League of Heroes. The League. They're in Dreyfus. You can find them there. The Space Pass arriving.
Okay.
Take them out.
Well, I'll probably go find them. That sounds fun. Okay. Red Shadow was not helpful, so he'll
He was
just
as helpful as I expected him to be.
he'll just keep
The
approaching.
absolute lack of context I have for any of that makes
Yeah,
it
you don't know
infinitely
anything about
better.
Red Shadow. It's great.
Going to the Explorer Man. Another talk with my captor, eh?
No. Oh, no. Sorry. I thought I could only do it once anyway. No, I'll just open the gate now.
Oh, cool. Perfect. True, you can only do it once. Cheater!
I wasn't
You
cheating.
cheated!
I wasn't cheating.
Well, the gate
Right.
opens and
One moment, Marceline. And Tess is going to march up to Tillis, ignoring the fucking lion that he's on, and ignoring the scroll.
it's facing its butt towards you anyways because it's ready to run the other direction.
He has put the scroll away, but he still has the gun. I don't think it's trained on you though. I think it's still on Marjolin.
Yeah, Tess is going to march all the way up to Tillis and like give him like the finger, like lean down off the damn lion.
Oh God, everything in his body is saying don't do this, but he still does lean down.
And she's going to slap him across the face as hard as she can. She's trying to slap him off of the lion if she can.
And you can, if you're gonna try to avoid the slap, it's an attack. Melee, just an unarmed attack against your AC.
He won't avoid the slap, but I don't think he wants to get off.
It's not enough to do damage, I imagine. Up to you.
No, she's not
Yeah.
doing this with intent to kill.
Yeah, it's just a slap. Yeah. So with this
Yeah.
point, like the slap makes contact and
But yeah, she puts her
Stings.
back into it.
stings a lot. Well, just make a strength check to see how much gumption you put behind this slap.
Sure.
The slap flavored shove is what this is.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can use athletics here too, because it's so athletic to slap.
She's proper form.
Lines
you
it
see,
up,
like, the-
slap
the-
boxer like, yeah, slap champion
Yeah,
like.
the slap champions where they wind up. And she does.
Yeah.
Bow, sends it as hard as she can, which isn't very hard.
But you're just a small boy, so it's like your mom slapping you, like, oh.
Why?
It's more of the emotional context of being hit.
I
with
know,
it.
I know.
It's more than exactly. It's like, oh,
Mother, no, you struck me.
why?
Why? I'm a good boy. Stop.
I've been a good boy.
I just killed a couple people. Not even that many.
Tell us, what have you done to Marjolaine? And where's Walter?
I don't know where Walter is, but I disintegrated her.
Right, and this is after you killed her brother.
Is that who that was? Yes.
Right, and Do you just put your stupid stick into someone's face and then blow their head off with no explanation? Since I spoke with him afterwards, he had no idea what your deal was. You were just confused and angry. What gives? That's not like you.
It's not like you to explode.
It is
Be that as
now.
it
I
may.
explode again. It's my new class. I
Watch me do
explode.
it again, idiot!
She bites her celestial blood thing.
Don't tell me what I can and can't do.
This is me now.
That's true, but that was... Look, I can be more impulsive than you because you're smarter than me. I did it out of desperation. You did it out of stupidity.
That's fair. I don't know who he was, and you were gone. I didn't think you would do that.
You know who Marjolaine is.
I didn't want to do it to her, but she was very upset.
I'm very upset. Going to disintegrate me as well.
I don't have another one.
Would you?
Probably not.
Probably not. But I want you to get down off this fucking couch. I want you to go over there and stare at her brother's propped up corpse and apologize.
Am I going to be killed?
No, of course you're not going to be killed. I'm just going to scold you for a few days until I get over it.
How did you come back?
We can talk about it later. Here's not the place. In either case, I'm not a fucking doppelganger.
That's clear enough. Well, okay. He will slowly, kind of like a teenager that doesn't want to do a thing. So he only does it extremely slowly. Get off the lion, and walk towards the gate. And he pauses before crossing the threshold to where safety for him is. And he'll do it, but he'll still say like a healthy 30 feet away, and he'll say, "I'm sorry I killed your brother.
And
I'm sorry, brother, I killed."
And apologize to Marjolaine.
Marjolaine, I jumped to conclusions, and I thought less of you than you deserved.
You see, I don't know if Brother Jethrin accepts your apology.
Steel
Right, let's ask him.
yourself, champion of Dew. The pit of vipers is in front of you.
Pardon me. And fucking drive her hand into his chest. Assuming Marjolaine doesn't stop her.
You're approaching her hand out.
Oh, wait, no, Never mind. It's a 10-day cooldown.
I do it anyways.
You stick
Ask
your
him in
hand in and
10
go,
days.
"Why is he talking?"
Tethrin doesn't
I was
need
ventriloquism.
your help. He's already told me.
Look, it was clearly a mistake. Right, Tillis?
Yes, it was a mistake. I was not of sound mind at the moment.
All of this because I exploded. I'd be touched if I wasn't annoyed.
The Scarlet Father guides your hand.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I was just bantering. It's like, well, I also used a polymorph scroll, so I kind of wish things were different too.
Really?
Right. It's okay, Brother Jethrin. He feels bad. Can't you forgive him? And she'll pick up the corpse, like grab it by the back of whatever scraps of clothes it has left. It's fine.
Well,
It's not going to do it again.
I
This
promise
is where
I
you
won't.
ask how you can help, Tillis.
Oh, is there anything I can do to help?
Oh. Brother Jethrin, what do you want? A place to rest. Or just a place to rest.
Like you having a wagon like a bed?
Or like a burial.
Oh,
Something more peaceful, you're right. Not just a bed. Perhaps
Like a bungalow.
yes, a burial for Brother Jethrin. Do you have a shovel?
Do we have a Tillis?
he kind of looks aghast. He's like, no.
Then I'll find one.
I have
Here.
a lion. They can dig.
But if it's not done with your own hands,
No, Tillis has hands.
there's no respect. Come,
I
we'll
mean,
find you a shovel.
no, yeah, I've got perfectly good hands. I can do it. I can't stand while I do it, but I can do it.
Right. You don't have to stand while you're digging on the floor.
Great. That's
Dig a grave, child, while laying on the ground with this little gardening trowel.
Here, Tilly's. Keep Brother Jethrin just for a moment.
Oh,
I'll find a shovel.
of course. I'll hold on to him.
The corpse is like put out and in front of you.
She's gonna go find a shovel.
He's holding it outstretched.
You start to wander around the outskirts of the Tower of Adore. Not a lot out here, but eventually you make a roll percent out die. It's UK. Roll above 5%. That's all you gotta do. 95% chance. So good. And wandering out in the so good at this game.
I mean, presumably there's a fucking
Everyone's gonna
groundskeeper. There's a duck
Uh,
hedge. So
You go magical groundskeepers, aka magic. But you go over and like wandering around the edges of the thing. You see an old rusty shovel that's barely intact. Looks like it's like a leftover farm equipment that's just stuck in the ground, the hillside. Job sorta. Maybe get some tetanus.
Great. I'm immune to disease. Person will return and start digging a hole in Midori's garden.
Pick a spot. Any spot.
Tillis would look for a spot that maybe he doesn't think Rodori favors that much. He doesn't want to do it in like a spot Rodori would notice.
Rodori favors a lot of these places, but that's a good spot right there.
In front of the duck.
Old Town Meats.
Just to be cautious while she was gone, if he got out of like earshot at all, Tillis mage armored up. And if Tess is there, he's
Still
gonna be
yellow. Still yellow.
like, just in case.
ever the cautious one.
Feel like it's deserved.
And the shovel start to go, and you see the fairy dragons look a little concerned, but say that Tillis, you're there, like kind of giving permission for this, they let it go. And you dig this grave. It takes a few hours, but that, as you start to, and you break earth, The dirt is thrown over. That is where we will take a break. Let's go ahead and take a solid. Let's just make it a solid. God, it's hard. 15 minutes and be back at 9:40. I think that makes sense.
Okay.
I think that makes sense. But yeah. Whoa, this is going away. This is going one of the ways of all time.
I have established all 4 animals of the hedge maze. The duck, the fish, the crab, and the bear.
We're in the duck arc still. Oh wait, the fish arc was the first arc. It's fish.
Yep.
So
Fish.
fish arc, duck arc. We haven't seen crab or what was this one?
Bear.
It always
Bear?
ends as crab.
Are we sure that's not like a malformed squirrel?
Giant enemy crab. Look, just because I can't draw the fucking bear doesn't mean it's not a bear.
It's constellations. You get it.
I did my best, okay?
I went
Fuck
back
you,
to
Walter.
those-
You're not here. Shut up.
Good prophecy, power of prophecy that Rodore has. Perhaps there will be themes surrounding crab time and bear time by the end of the game.
I feel like it's not an Oog game if we don't establish that bears are the most fearsome creatures on this planet.
That's true.
Till us when I'm
More than
back
the
on a polar
dragons,
bear,
more than-
baby. Let's get it.
All right. Well, I'll see you all in about 15. Guz is back yet.
It's been like fucking a whole month.
It's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Real Guz could be back. If you want him to be, it's up to you.
I mean, so I've been playing.
He's Real Guz back.
As kind as I'm trying to play this as kind as I can with sanity rules, but like Marceline has like next to no sanity left, and like I don't know how much longer she can be a PC, but we'll find out. Maybe something crazy will happen.
What sanity
All you have to
rules
do
are
is say the word that if she dies,
Uh,
Guzrick is
oh.
here, and I will hold person on the spot.
Let me find the link that.
I've made it. Yeah, I've made it even more yellow.
What?
Oh, and Marceline.
Oh my
blue.
God,
Oh,
Marceline
Dear-
red.
How are you doing this?
I don't know.
What is wrong
Okay,
with
I
you?
made it less yellow. What have
still
I
pretty
done?
yellow.
Yeah, it's less yellow though. I have a plan. I have a simple plan. I'm a
turn
simple
back to
man.
pink. See if that fixes it.
I did, and I didn't fix it. I was superstitious about it too, because like, there's no way that would actually be the reason. But it's the only thing I changed, and it didn't fix it. So, hang on, I'm gonna do something. Slim.
Hold on. I alt tabbed and then alt tabbed back, and it flickered back to the normal color,
I have a plan.
which makes me think that there's an overlay.
I have a plan.
Wait, but my drawing is still the correct color.
I have a plan.
What if you change it to metric?
This is the good fix is let's use more superstitious nonsense. If we keep playing with the meter gods, they'll eventually decide we have used the right measurement and will unyellowfy us. I believe it. That's what I'm starting to believe. But hang on, I have a plan. I have a plan. Don't worry. Toggle navigation. Look at there, beauty.
Did you fix it?
I did.
Okay, I was reloading factory. What'd you do?
I just made
It
a
is
new
good.
scene.
Columbria fixed.
Damn, nice.
Can we change the
Easy.
name of Celebrity to Celembria Pissed?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see. We'll make this may be the new Celembria map, and then save them changes there.
Wait, but my animal drawings moved over. You copied that now.
Unless there is a filter or something. What is this? Is it this? Nope. What is going on here? I don't know what's going on. We're just gonna copy over. Make sure there's no other markers I need to copy over. Oh yeah, more Loft House.
Have you angered the gods of color recently?
I must have. Cool. More Loft House.
Also,
Grave of Death and
graves.
Old Town
Yep.
Meats. Those are all on this new thing here.
Cool.
And then get rid of that one. And then
Pick.
configure this one to be Celebria 2.
No longer
And then-
pissed.
Delete normal 1. Goodbye forever. And what's this now? What's this all what's all this then? Another piss!
Don't say that.
Deleted. Piss gone. Good. Good. All order has been restored. The piss realm has been warded off. And we can continue our adventure.
Well, Tillis will help Marjolin dig.
As you both start the arduous process of digging this hole, one of the fairy dragons comes over. Yet another one. The boss doesn't like people messing with the garden.
This can be a special exception.
Okay. I'll tell him it was a special exception.
Great. Thank you.
And he floats off. He's a little bit more of a bulbous dragon. He has trouble hovering, but he gets there.
I like that one.
And you dig. The awkward silence continues.
This is great. She thinks. She's standing there, arms crossed, like tapping her. No, wait, does she? She doesn't have shoes.
Feet. Now you're distracted. Now it's like, oh, now that's all I can think about.
No, okay. Whenever we went to Old Town Schmeats, she would have gotten shoes.
Schmeat shoes, like, got 2 big sausages and just put them over like shoes.
Some sausages for my sausages,
Sausage stockings.
please.
Yeah, you could have picked up some shoes in town for
Right,
a
but
nominal
she
fee.
is- Arms crossed, tapping her boot on the ground like a annoyed mother that's getting impatient. But on the inside, she's like, as long as I do this, they won't make me dig. So she's just lording over. Like she has any form of authority here, but she's doing it anyways.
Yeah, Marshall is really one track, just like picking dirt and throwing it.
Takes a while. How deep do you dig?
Is there like a general depth that a contemptor would dig, or
6 feet under is usually classic.
right? 6 feet under.
Yeah.
6 feet.
Shit.
Sounds great.
You're
Can we
gonna be
like
here a
crumple
while.
him up into like a cannonball so it's like kind of smaller, or does it have to be like 6 feet and like also long enough for him to like lay out right?
I mean, he's
Can
just
he like fetal position?
he's just some mush. Can we just like make a kind of not
Just,
a
like,
human-sized
cram
hole?
him in there.
There's a 6-foot tube, and we just push him in the tube. We just cover the tube.
We'll grow a brother
And
tree.
then I'll just anchor lance a tube straight down into the ground, and I think that'll. I'm just curious. How long does it take to dig a 6-foot grave by hand? 4 to 5 hours.
Okay, now do that same search, but as a child.
As a child, but you have a giant to make it out.
So
So
I was
you have a
gonna say,
giant
like,
woman.
there's
You gotta
two
think about it.
people,
Like, you bring it
one of
back
them
down
is
to
a
like 2
child.
neutral
Yeah.
because of the bigness. So it's like 2 average people when you think about it.
True.
So 4 to 5 hours. What are you guys talking about for the next 4 to 5 hours?
Yeah, I think she was doing her arms crossed toe tapping for like a solid 10 minutes, and like they hardly got anywhere. She's like, yeah, I can't do this for so long.
Yeah, Tillis is gonna, as he's digging, he's like, so, what was exploding like?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Brutal. Painful. It's the second most painful experience I've ever had.
And the blood? Do anything? Do you feel anything
Not sure.
besides the pain?
I felt a lot of things for a long time, but I don't think the blood had anything to do with it. I think in hindsight it was just a mistake, though I did say I was not leaving without the shard, and I kept my word. And she'll pull out the new shard. Whenever we came back, simultaneously I might add, which is curious, but when we did come back, the gate was gone. And we weren't granted the one piece like I'd asked for, but the spoils of the Horde. So we took
Anything
it
good?
all. I mean, the clothes I'm wearing,
Yeah, they're nice.
they're very nice. They're 500 gold pieces nice.
Yeah, made a
They're
prime
very
show.
nice.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey,
Oh,
Tilly's did detect magic, right?
Oh yeah, that'd be you would have detected
yeah.
the magic on the new stuff of the new gear they all have.
Oh, and you know what? Never mind. I got
Sure.
this sword.
The
Nothing
hours
special.
continue.
Just makes me hungry.
It's starting to get like afternoon. The sun's starting to beat down. You're sweating heavily. Those that are digging, it's just hot. The three suns bearing down on you. It's hot, very hot. And it is getting, you're starting to get hungry too with all of this labor working up quite the sweat. But you look down the holes, maybe like 4 feet down, but the next 2 feet are the hardest because it looks like the ground's gotten much harder and it's going to be arduous doing the last 2 feet.
You know, this might be inappropriate to bring this up so late into the process, but I could likely go to the gate and ask a guard or two. They tend to revere me for whatever reason.
Your own sacrifice is what makes the worth important. Makes the work worth it.
You're totally right. It slipped my mind, silly me. Right, well, okay. Keep digging.
Yeah. It's important that we do it.
Continues. And after about 5 hours total, it's about 5 p.m. at this point, the hole is dug. And you climb out. Ready to deposit
Tillis
the
is
corpse.
stuck at the bottom, so he will
Oh,
reach
sure.
out for a hand.
Marjolin's already out. Already going over to the body, I imagine, and like picking it up.
Tess is like looking at Marjolaine like, go on.
All right, brother.
This
Catherine,
is how it happens.
your place of rest has been created. You're right. I'll keep something. But Tethrin's skull is like mostly devoid of flesh at this point, right?
Yeah.
Great. She'll break off his part of his jaw.
Dude, break it off. You
You're
hear
right.
the voice ring once more. A chance to seal at least a portion of the Viper's away has presented itself.
Tethrin, you're talking so loud.
Marjolaine.
It's fine.
Do not hesitate to strike down evil when the opportunity
Fine.
presents.
Marjolaine.
Oh.
And she's gonna pick up Tethrin and toss him forcefully
Marjolaine.
into the-
Tillis is in the hole.
Until as you're looking up and just a corpse of a plate mail clad warrior lands on top of you. It's heavy.
Ooh.
What the fuck?
You're talking so
her mistake,
loud, and she's gonna start pushing dirt into the grave.
Tillis, you have magic, but you don't have the use of your legs, or your arms aren't very strong, so it's up to you what you're doing here as the grave is starting to be filled in as dirt hits your mouth.
Oh, fuck, these are brand new, and she's going to like climb down into the hole while Marjolaine is just burying them, and she's going to try to grab. I can't lift you, but I don't know, work with me.
Yeah. Tillis will reduce himself then.
Yeah, as you
Oh,
reduce,
great.
you're easily lifted up.
She's just gonna take him in his fucking yoink, just throw him out, and she's gonna spider climb her way out of the floor, just like covered in dirt. I don't presume Marjolaine stopped at any point.
No.
She, fine.
Yeah, still going. Just
She's gonna take the water skin like off of Marjolaine's belt while she's distracted and just like she just start throwing it on her and Tillis to like clean up. Oh, you're
Oh yeah,
magic.
press.
Fuck you.
Yeah, Tillis
She's
is
just doing it on herself.
prestidigitationing.
And then she'll stop her and put it back without interrupting her.
Prestidigitation the attack.
And after another about 15 or 30 minutes or so, the grave is filled.
Marjolaine, you're all right now.
Did the voice keep urging me, or?
It did, but well, the voices come on in these bursts that you've heard, and then it seems to go come in and out essentially.
Does it still speak to me after the grave is filled?
in this moment, you're not getting the direct voice, but remember that second thought line I was talking about? That's
Yeah.
still going constantly, and you are getting similar thoughts that are going along that train of thought of like, maybe I should have done it, kind of, it might have been my best opportunity. And you keep hearing the message of watch out for the nest of vipers that you're wandering into, stay focused on the path, champion of dew, etc., etc. And also, do not hesitate to smite evil when the opportunity arises.
Okay. Sorry, I repeat that.
Are you fine now?
Of course.
Of course.
Tillis grabs his staff and he prestidigitations the dirt off him and he goes, I hope that was cathartic for everyone. Does this mean we're good?
It's a difficult question to answer.
You think your mistake can be made up for with a few hours of hard labor and apology, Phyllis?
I don't know. No one I've killed has ever come back.
Would it be enough for you?
No.
Well, then keep working until it would be.
I fear this work will be the death of me.
And it would be justified.
Maybe I should just stay here.
The wisdom of Fedora is ringing in your head. Stay in your tower. There's crazy people out there. Don't leave towers.
They want you to work and ask for...
They want you to do things.
I mean, you were willing to drown yourself for me just the other day. Well, I suppose
If
it's
you
been
were in a
weeks.
tower, no one would ever ask you to do something crazy like drown yourself or something. That would never happen.
I think I was gonna get a bit more out of that than someone's friendship. Or at least tacit acceptance.
Tacit acceptance is still acceptance. Plus, it would make me feel better.
Oh, sure. Whatever I can do, this is a debt I will carry for the rest of my life.
Right. Or until Marjolaine is no longer with us, whichever one happens first. I mean, you're a human, so you're likely to die quite a bit faster, but, you know.
Apparently, not even death will stop this.
Oh, right.
So it
Which-
seems.
Oh, go ahead, Marjolaine. I was going to ask you.
Yes. I'm not sure what your penance is. I'm not sure it's mine to choose.
I think it's precisely yours to choose. We don't have to choose right away, but
I think someone else is trying to choose.
right. So about Walter, just a break away from weird, which I think is pretty obvious to Tillis. Like Marjolaine, Tess is very uncomfortable. So, Tillis, I heard through the grapevine, you could say, that you and Walter had a bit of a falling out.
Yeah.
And as my shard was not there, and it is not with you, I would presume it is with him. So
Probably.
where is he?
Where is Walter? I've been expecting him outside my window every night. The fact that he's not here, guess I'm lucky.
Where would he go?
You both talked to him more than I did. I mean, From my report, did I get that he was stationed in New Traphis, or was there any connection there that I could point to?
There was a large amount of time spent there, I believe, so it's likely that would have, like, a detail of him being stationed there would have been somewhere in that report.
Well, so he wasn't so much stationed there because he was usually sent out on campaign, but that's where he like had the equivalent of like an apartment, right? So you would know that
there
his
was
ties
of him living there.
Yeah, like he would have ties to Traphis, his family's actual land / estate.
New Traphis specifically, right? Or not? Or
well, he has
Traphis.
ties to Traphis for the academy, right?
Just making sure.
Yeah, Traphis is like the capital city where the Emperor is.
Right. So he definitely, and that's also where the Officers Academy is. So he definitely has ties there. He's got ties to his family lands and ties to New Traphis from, like that's sort of like where he hung out when it was like, okay, now you get a month off before you go back into the field for a year. And he's like, okay.
So yeah, it seems like that's generally what the report mentioned.
And Tess would rule out Traphis completely because it seemed that he was he seemed to give off vibes of being on the run, sort of, or like not wanting to be found by the Imperium per se. So Traphis itself is probably the last place he would ever be. But she's written that off, whether or not that's accurate.
And I mean, he never expressed any interest to go home. That was not home was not something that was big on his mind. So yeah, I think those would go. He's got ties to New Traphis. Seemed to be where he would hang out. Probably where I would start.
But that's so far away. And I don't have Zach. Oh, did you see where Zach went?
No, Walter was chasing me with an axe when I left.
Right, that doesn't answer my question. Did you see Zach?
Well, it did, because I started with no.
Right. I'm gonna ignore the chasing you with an axe part. Well, where could the fucking horse be? Right, fine. Does anyone have anything left to do? You're obviously coming with us, right, Hillis?
Sure, I've got a penance to make.
Right.
Okay. So, heading out of the city then? To Solim, or not to, whatchamacallit, to New Traphis?
Oh, I need to stop by my house for a letter or something, apparently.
My house. In the middle of the street. So, you head over to your house.
And, you know, if it's all still ducks, then I can throw a shit fit. But otherwise, that could be some good news.
This is worse than getting my body ripped apart. All these fucking ducks.
Did you didn't get anyone working on that, did you?
The duck?
Yeah, fixing the duck problem?
No, we just left.
So still ducks.
Opens her. Or she sees the
Hoping.
door that's duck shaped. She's like, oh no. And opens the door
no.
and the meteor
Duck.
pissed. What the fuck? Oh, that's from the Oasis, isn't it? I forgot this was a theme.
Of course.
Dude,
Spilled
that
out on the map.
water, that water is like 4 years old.
Collected all that flavor.
Oh my god, it's
No, my
mellow.
flavor.
It's basically
It's definitely not
vodka at this
the
point.
Oasis water anymore, but I just haven't changed the name.
That's funny. Right, anyways.
What was happening? I forgot. Oh, you're yes,
Sees
you're at
the
your duck
fucking
house.
duck-shaped door, has her oh no, opens the door, everything is ducks. Where's the letter?
It's just sitting there on the table in a little box.
Is the
Box?
box or letter shaped like a duck?
The box is not shaped like a duck, and it is a glass box, but you try to pick it up, it is impossibly heavy, it doesn't move, but as you touch it, the box itself just opens up on its own, revealing the letter.
Has this happened before? an impossible to move box that magically opens to a specific person? Is this like a Morloft thing I would know about?
Yeah, it's a type of it's a fairly expensive way to keep a letter safe, essentially.
Hmm.
But it's a simple magical implement. Yeah.
Great. Sure. I
And
guess if there's any identifying markings or whatever, but she's gonna open it up.
it's a letter from well, I'll put it in your inventory. And I'll let you read it.
I assume this is a response to the letter that I sent.
Yep. Read it.
Great. Oh fuck, it's long.
I'll let you read it while you're on the road.
Yeah, I would normally read this out to the group, but this is, I haven't read it yet, but assuming it's a response to my last letter, Tillis can't hear this.
True.
I will post it so everyone else can read it for fun. After I glance at it and make sure it's nothing important.
I won't read it.
No, you guys can, I don't give a shit. Meta knowledge is your characters don't see this.
Oh,
you
the
shouldn't have read my
formatting's
first letter.
awful. A little bit. That's
No,
because
it's
of
fine on mine.
reasons. It's fine. There's one thing that bugs me about it, but there's reasons for that, and I it's fine. I don't care. It doesn't bother
Here.
me.
I'm going
I'm
to.
not pissed off. I'm not angry. I'm not gonna like uninstall Foundry immediately, delete
Here.
all these world files. Not me.
Here is the letter that she sent to Artemisia from before, just for meta knowledge. And Walter would, I guess, Artemisia is the head of the Morloft family, and she's incredibly powerful and spooky.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is useful meta knowledge.
Yeah,
yes,
she is the matriarchal head of the family, incredibly influential and powerful individual, and like a pseudo mother figure to Tess. She's technically her great aunt.
Mm. So she's Tess in like 30 years.
I have no fucking idea how old she is.
Interesting meta knowledge.
I like that last bit.
That
Great.
was cool. It made you go really fast, but that was weird.
What?
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, she'll read this letter and then fucking incinerate it.
hmm
Right, never mind. Nothing important. To New Travis, then. I suppose I'll have to buy
Nice.
myself a horse.
Yes, I need to
Again.
resupply all my items, everything I had.
Right, of course. I still have a relative sum of money. I don't remember how much I had before, but
I mean, Walter didn't take like your. Oh, you got disintegrated. That's right. I was gonna say Walter didn't take your like.
no, her shit's gone.
Utilities took my
gone.
things.
But I do have quite a lump sum, so if there's anything supplies you need, we get you some more clothing. Maybe get armor fitted for you.
And I'd be happy to contribute to the sum. I mean, I feel so bad about your items and your belongings. If there's anything I can do monetarily, I'll do my best. And he holds out his little coin purse of 6 gold. It's yours. You can have it all.
I don't want your gold.
Okay, I'll keep it.
I guess I'll just, for now, throw some shit in my inventory. Doo.
Yeah, let me know if you need any gold from her. She has a shit ton.
I got the I guess Marjorie looted all the coins we found in the
Mhm.
treasure room. So
Yeah, she told you to go ahead and take all of that to replenish what you lost, but Tess still has a shit ton of her own. And also, Tess took the ruby that was in there, and that ruby is worth a lot.
right. Did that go in my inventory? Yeah.
How much is the horse?
Warhorse, by the way, those with Warhorse stats, we need to update the Warhorse HP because it's still wrong.
She doesn't care about a warhorse. She's getting riding horse.
Okay, riding horse is much cheaper. Warhorse 400 gold. Riding horse is only
75.
yes.
Cool.
I'm a fucking idiot. Should have asked you to...
No, okay, no, don't say it like that. No, you're very smart. You're very intelligent.
You should
Shoulda-
also you could also get a carriage horse for 50 gold, which is slightly worse.
Sure.
I mean,
She doesn't really care as long as she's looking for a horse with some endurance and that can get her to New Trathus.
Riding horse would be faster. It would keep up with the warhorse speed. Carriage horse won't. So riding horse is a good cheap, like if
The
you want a good,
workhorse
cheap
has advantage
economist.
on con saves for forced marches. Forced marches.
Yeah, that's a shit ton of gold. She doesn't give a shit about this horse. She wants Zach.
So the 50 gold or 75 gold model?
I'll do the 75 gold, the riding horse.
75 riding horse. All right, you got a riding horse. You can add it to your inventory.
I have a feeling this horse is going to end up as a dinner tribute to Zach.
Or me. I'm quite famished. Now that I have this magic sword that makes me very hungry.
I'm very hungry, my sword.
Where's
So, with your horses purchased and your preparations made? Question mark.
Yeah, I should have asked you to make a duplicate before I deleted my whole inventory. So I'll just do
Oh.
this in the background.
True. It's okay.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Absolutely. Oh, if you have it on D&D Beyond, I could give you a different token, and you could theoretically. No, still no. Okay. Yeah. Damn.
It's
Well,
It doesn't really matter much when it's not long for this sanity.
Oh no.
oh,
It's all
Okay,
downhill.
maybe she'll
Well,
rally.
once you feel better, here's Chester.
Chester?
Chester.
Chester. From Don't
That's
Stop.
what the stableman named the horse when I bought it.
Damn. I was hoping it was a little eyeball chest. It's good.
I would have gone with Horsey.
That's a Pokemon, so I can't take that one for trademark reasons.
Understood. Oh, it's gonna be a long trip. It's gonna be a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
getting to that point right there that I marked on the map, 660 miles away. Which,
Actually,
if you're
this,
all
this
mounted,
might be a pertinent question. Is there like a carriage service? Is there
Like
like
to
a
get
travel
all of it?
service? Yeah, to go from Celebrity to New Trathus, like someone
Yeah.
would just pay to just ride.
Yep. If you want to take a coach,
Yeah.
you could just you can get a coach for 1 gold per person per day.
Okay. Okay, here we go. I might not give a shit about Chester. How many days is this going to take? I don't know how fast the coach goes.
The advantage of the coach is that it's a little slower than if you were just riding without the horses, but it is constant travel rate and speed. It should be a little better. The horses don't need to work as hard to get the same speed, so they don't need to rest as often.
This looks, I
So
assume that they
it
follow the
would
road.
get you there a little
1,100
slower.
miles.
A little slower. It would get you there probably 60 miles per day versus 104 miles per day. At a fast rate, if they're going fast.
Well, what's 1080 divided by 60? A
18.
little under 20.
18. Take you 18 days.
18 days.
No, you can't do it. Dang.
You can. You can do /roll and then
Oh.
do that. That's how I do all of it. Whenever we're rolling HP and stuff,
Damn.
you can do math. So 18 days versus what, like 11?
Correct.
But it's. What was the thing about constant travel? What?
It just means you don't have to drive. You're just kind of like along for the ride. You're going along with the coach and going along with that. You could sleep in it. That'd be the advantage, I suppose. You could sleep in the coach and wouldn't, you know, you're not like controlling the mounts or anything. I'll tell you, it's not huge. It's not a huge boon in this scenario, but it's cheaper than buying the horse technically. It's only like it might be a little cheaper than buying the horse. And if they're riding alongside and they're not even using the coach, because you don't have to ride on the coach. Only if you use the coach is for you.
You mean 18 gold and I don't have to ride my own horse? I don't have to fucking buy Chester and his stupid name, and I have a driver? I mean, he's no Pendleton, but fuck if I care if it takes us an extra week. This is excellent. Never mind. Goodbye, Chester. You've been returned.
Refund.
I mean, it doesn't seem like Marjolaine's in a hurry to do literally anything. And what's Tillis going to do? Complain? Shut up, boy.
Shut up, you murderous psychopath.
No, honestly, if you do wish to ride along, Tillis, you can. I understand that lying back. Well, I don't know. You don't really feel the chapping, but I know it happens.
Oh, well, I like to ride.
Sure. But yeah,
You're
fuck it.
muted, I
Tess is
think?
getting a coach.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. I saw you say things. Okay.
I'm talking to myself, trying
He's
to read
still
all the
fixing his
shit.
sheet, I think.
Not to us. True. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the extra week. I don't care about the inconvenience it causes to other people. This is just to get my shard back anyways, and then we're gonna do the Marjolaine thing. So like, fuck you guys. I gotta coach 18 gold, easy. And I don't
18
have to
day
deal with feeding this horse. This is the best.
Do you guys have 18 days worth of food?
No, I think I need some.
Make sure to buy enough food for the journey.
Oh, it's
5 silver per ration.
5 silver per ration. I didn't get the spoils of that adventure. I'm poor. 5.5 silver per ration, and I need 5. Easy.
Wait, so I need 2 rations a day, right?
You need 2 per day.
So 54 gold total. Because it ends up being
Because you're so hungry.
it ends up being a gold. Oh wait, no, a gold a day. So never mind, not 50. That number, 36.
That many golds.
This is another reason why I need the coach, so I don't have to, I'd have to buy the horse and buy the food.
You got like a feasting cart back
And,
there where you're just like diving
there's
down.
storage room for luggage. I can get some things from home that aren't duck shaped. And yes, I just bring a whole picnic. If you all aren't riding with me, great, more room for the food. But yeah, she comes back with just like fucking heaps. 36 days, literally over a month's worth of rations.
Month worth of food, just douche. I'm gonna eat this on our trip.
That's for me.
This is for me.
New Dreyfus isn't that far.
Not going to buy your groceries on an empty stomach. It's like that, but unless of course either of you are volunteers.
The
When you
cart, the
pay for
wagon
it, I
driver's
remember
like
the-
loading all of your like groceries and trying to find storage places for them all. And he's just like rubbing his head together. It's a lot of food. How many pounds of food is that? Because how much does a ration weigh?
I don't know. I don't have a ration in my inventory to check.
Like a ration is
Ration's a pound.
Pound? Okay, so it's like 36 pounds of food?
No, it's
Oh, rations are 2
of food.
pounds.
Oh, like 18 pounds of food. Yeah.
Rations are 2 pounds?
Rations
2
are 2
pounds. That is like 30 pounds.
That
of
was my
food.
ration. What the
40
fuck?
pounds of rations. And they're all like, I know their rations are intended to be kind of dried out or whatever, but like, I feel like she was specifically, I'll even pay the extra if I have to get like, kind of like wet, preserved type of meats rather than like dried jerkies. Like lunch meat.
Add a 5 gold to the total, and you get primo rations.
Great. 41.
The wettest of meats.
So, if everyone has their food preparations made, the journey can begin.
All right, let's
Support
go.
more.
It'll be a bonding experience.
Great. There is the money.
Are you gonna starve? Anyone starving? Just curious. No? Good.
I mean, I'm
'cause
always starving.
we're gonna jump ahead a little bit, making sure no one's starving through the journey. 18 days later, you arrive in the streets of New Traphis. Well, let me actually first get my thingy going. Let's see. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Whew, almost. We just got into the month of Mog this session, and we're almost through the month of Mog this session. We're getting through it.
God damn.
Tessa's leaving
Yeah.
a fat 5 gold tip for this driver.
Mhm.
When we show up, she walks out of the car, a big stretch. She's all refreshed. She's like, oh, this is so nostalgic. I haven't had a driver in like 3 years.
Mhm.
So nice.
And here we find ourselves in New Traphis. This city is maybe bigger than the capital itself. It's hard to say, but the walls aren't as pronounced here. They don't seem to have a lot of like standing walls. Coming down this journey was a long one, but the last leg of it saw you riding up into the clifflands and on this natural rocky cliff-like terrain of New Traphis that's kind of built around. It works as almost a natural citadel, so they can get away without having walls in that context. The city is massive. It seems to be growing in every direction. And there's one thing that is peculiar. The architecture here very, very reminiscent of it's very Greco-Romanesque style buildings, because much like the rest of the Imperium, a lot of the parts of the Imperium. But one thing that is peculiar are these large towers that are ascending up into the sky at various parts of the city. At the top of them, there are these strange, like, almost fogly emanations kind of emanating from them. Yeah, that's about what you see. About what you see here on the cityscape.
Just to say it, just because Tillis is not trying to be the very most obvious person in the world, as the little kid riding the lion, he will summon a
One
riding.
thing you do notice is there are no urban cohorts. You have not seen a singular guardsman in this town so far.
Tillis is switching to a riding horse.
That you do. Welcome to the city. One of the a homeless person comes up to you and says, "Spare some change?"
No.
Of course.
Oh, I mean, of
We
course.
always share what we have. And Marshall
Be quick
will
about
go-
it. I need to get off the street before they see me.
Don't tell me how quickly to share. Open your palms.
And he looks like he's like really looking around. His eyes keep going up to the towers. Hurry, I need to go back to the sewer. Please.
And Marceline will just grab a handful of coins from her purse. Let's see. Here. 7 silver and 11 pieces of copper.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
He's staring at the tower and like, any more?
And she'll close her hands over his. This is a gift. We're sharing.
Okay. Are you sure? I gotta
Thank
go.
you.
And he tries to
Who
pull
are you
away.
thanking for the
I-
gift.
He tries to
Who
pull
are
it.
you thanking
You
for
guys,
this?
you must let me go.
Who did
They're going to.
thank
You
this?
see the light of the tower shines down on him, and in a moment, he is cut in half,
What?
and he falls to the ground in 2 halves, and then he is diced apart by just invisible forces into like mincemeat. A few moments later, the meat is shifted down into a storm drain.
Happens sometimes when you're not thankful.
Marjolaine, did you do that?
Of course not.
What? I presumed, of course not,
streets
into
are
your reaction.
Very empty all of a sudden. People saw that, and doors are slamming closed, windows are shutting.
Okay, so welcome to New Traphus.
Uh,
Do I know anything about this?
Make history check.
can I do an Arcana to see what, like, if that was magic? Like, what,
Yeah.
specifically, like, what it was?
Yeah.
24.
Cool. You're aware of this, Tillis. The New Traphus, Gridor has talked about it a little bit, has an interesting police force, quote unquote. Any undesirable that is marked by the city's Basilius is automatically dealt with in any way. That's why the city has no crime. At least none that is done in the openness of the streets. Where the towers can see, because these towers, they are essentially beacons that can, within their line of sight, at any time upon detecting a undesirable, which includes homeless vagrants, like that one you saw, or criminals, etc., just really anyone the Basilius doesn't want, pretty much. If they are detected by these towers, that are continually scanning around, almost like ISR like scanning on the city floor, if they are detected one, they summon an invisible stalker, which is a type of creature, an elemental creature that is just essentially a being that doesn't have any sort of physical form. You can't see it at all, but it is a terribly powerful monster that can kill creatures in instance, as you saw before you.
Does Tillis know a better, like, is it just that list you gave me of the undesirables, kind of like criminals, and does he know like any sorts of laws that he shouldn't break specifically?
Mostly standard laws of the Imperium, for as far as you're aware.
Okay. Well, then he actually
Also, don't look homeless or be homeless.
Yeah, you gotta breathe a sigh of relief. These things aren't after him. Like, so that's the tower at work. It's quick. It's clean. I like towers. Well, maybe Walter got caught in one.
I hope not, or else I have to get my shot from the damn sewers.
I mean, that's where this homeless guy wanted to go. Maybe he's in the sewers.
I would hope he would do better than that, but I don't think there's anything low enough for a military dog not to sleep in.
Do you have any ideas how we can find him?
I don't know. You said he used to live here.
This is where he hung out.
Address.
Would the report have any like common hangouts?
It would have had a last known address. The address at the least is what we mentioned. It was in the report, so the location of this apartment essentially would be known to you.
Okay.
What is found there and where it is when we get there, well, it'll be up to Walter to tell us. So, do you head down to Walter's apartment?
Yeah, if New Traphus is this clean, they probably have a pretty easy. They're probably a grid city because they're smart. So let's work down that grid, find the address.
Yeah, going from place to place. You eventually takes a few hours of tracking, but it's getting like around 8 o'clock at night when you finally come up to. Well, I'll let you have full freedom. What does the exterior of your apartment look like, or your old apartment at least at the time? Ash, Walter.
Walter's. I call it apartment. It's probably more of like a military townhouse, right? Like a small townhouse, sort of thing. Because he doesn't need a lot of space, and he probably doesn't even use all of it. It's mostly for, he shows up, he's got a bed, he's got a kitchen, he's got storage facilities, and it's secure. But other than that, he doesn't, if he's going to spend time places, he's spending time with his fiance, right? He's probably staying at her place or at the barracks or things like that. So this is more of
It's a very Spartan building. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like I have an apartment in the city for when I go on business trips, essentially.
So it's actually like to be even more efficient. It's just like on the side of the building, it's just a staircase up that goes above like a small warehouse or something that's like seldomly used, but is even cheaper just for a store like staying in, and maybe even it might even be a military warehouse at that point. And as you go up these stairs, you see there's a simple wooden door frame which leads to this interior that was kind of loosely described, but we'll get into more detail of the interior once you actually get in there. You're kind of on the exterior here, at the doorway. Where are you taking it from here, ye who investigate apartments, cheap condos, and deals? Weighty.
I will say he's definitely had the door, like, secured or replaced. It was probably a fairly cheap, average wooden door. It's definitely got like at least iron bands if he hasn't just replaced it with something much sturdier.
Would he? Just curious. Would he have been staying here? Well, no spoilers. No spoilers. We'll get in there when we get in there. You can think about that when we get in there. We'll see what you see on the inside. So, as we come up to the door, what are you three doing as you come up to the, or at least the stairway that goes up to the door of the apartment?
Once again, at an earshot of like where the door would be. Mage armor. This is the place.
Right.
Well,
You want to do the honors, Marjolaine? Maybe if this turns violent, it could level you out a little bit. I mean, it's been like 3 weeks at this point.
Yeah, I think he'd be happy to see you.
Walter?
Yeah, he
She'll
was
knock on the door.
he was mad when you went away.
I think she was saying like to call for him, not questioning you.
Oh.
Champion of Dew, your mind is fragile, but the material is still strong. Take this time, reforge. Trust in the bonds of loyalty and honor.
I'm looking for Walter. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm looking for Walter. And she's just gonna pound her head against the door. Walter?
The door is currently closed, and it does seem to be locked based on your head banging. You're not doing any openings.
It's locked. It's not answering.
Well, then open it.
Haven't got a key.
Don't worry, I can open it.
Thank you.
Wall door.
As it shrinks.
Okay, you can do that. What a fucking weird use of the spell I've never even
spell.
considered or heard of.
There's objects.
Just for the sake, because Tilly's is supposed to be really smart, this is like destruction of property and breaking and entering. To do that as broadly as that,
He's not destroying the property. The property is in the exact same shape it is, and it will return to its same shape.
that doesn't destroy the hinges or the shape of the door to have it forcibly change shape like that. That doesn't warp anything.
It's magic.
I mean, I assume
It does what it says it does. It
Alright.
makes objects small.
Yeah, I assume that at minimum the hinges are ripped off the damn wall.
That's
That-
true.
that's what I
Those would
assumed.
they would be off the wall at the very least by the end of this.
Just wanted to make sure before people got vaporized by a tower. because he would be in a very good district because he was a military prefect. This isn't like a
Absolutely.
back alley apartment. This is a nice local square near probably the military.
Okay, well, this is
complexes.
going to destroy something, then I won't do that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else got any ideas?
Is there a window?
There'd probably be a few windows. They might be. Well, I'll let Walter decide how they look based on what are these windows look like. They would be windows of this building. This building would have had windows when you got it, but what they look like now, if you are there or not, depends on you.
Well, so Walter would not be here, but upon his death, the property would have passed into the hands of like his family, because they would have had business in the city, and this is more of like a, we own a lot of properties, we own a lot of like houses in various cities when we go to these cities, and I would guess probably his father either hasn't had the time to show up and take care of things if he was going to close it, or two, has just been like, hey, I don't really want to go deal with my dead son's house yet, and because I'm rich enough, I don't have to, theoretically. So I think the only person who maybe has been coming by to keep an eye on it at all would be his fiance, but even that's like, showing up once or twice, memories reminiscent.
How long you been dead? Dead, quote unquote?
At this point in time, 6 months, I think.
Okay, I'll say they haven't gotten a new tenant yet, but so right now it is they haven't like tried to rent it out yet or anything. So it is currently as you left it. So what would the windows look like as you left it?
They would be. There's one like sturdy glass window that faces like an open square, because of how safe New Traphus is. He's not concerned about that getting broken. There's probably another one that is like nicely fitted, but just like open shutters for when he wants a breeze on the other side. Space on the other side of the door.
That is your windows. She who seeketh windows.
Right. Yeah, she's going through the window. Like, breaking it if she has to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she doesn't give a shit.
Jumping
If
through
you-
and diving through.
Well, I was gonna say, because the other one is shuttered, I don't know if you have thieves' tools or anything, but you could probably pretty easily flip that latch if you really wanted to.
I don't. If there were these tools around, I can use them, but I don't have them. So she would just
Gotcha.
break a bit in, like, I don't know, fucking spear hand her way through it and undo the
Yeah.
latch on the inside.
With that, you kind of force the entry. The angle, because like again, these eyes kind of scan. You may not be able to see where they're scanning, but they don't see everything at all times per se. But we are gonna roll a little dicey here in the background. Okay. So you jump through the window and land inside. What does she see? What is the interior of this building look like?
When she comes, like when she undoes the window and goes in, she's gonna go along the ceiling in case there is anyone in here, because people never look up. That's crazy.
It's true. It's like New York.
Yeah. So her intention is to get to the front door as quickly as she can to let everyone else in.
Well, the window would be like right next to the front door. It's sort of that like.
Okay, then she'll come in and open the door.
Pretty easily. And now that everyone's in
There.
here,
Unlocked. You're welcome.
what's your domicile looking like these days? It pretty much is exactly how you left it, except hasn't been touched in 6 months, essentially.
Yeah, it's fairly dusty, but the entrance hall is also kind of the main room just for convenience sake. There's a fairly noble-looking sofa along the left wall. There is some sort of like animal skin rug across the ground to sort of soften it. It's not like a common animal. It's probably something relatively weird and dangerous that he definitely killed on an early expedition. It was like, and somebody was like, "You can make a rug out of that." And he was like, "Okay."
Will do.
Dope Truffy
There's
in his younger days.
Yeah. There's a small like kitchen area off to the right, and then further back is like a door leading into a bedroom and then a bath behind it. But the most sort of immediate thing is that every inch of his walls and counters are covered in military regalia, his medals, awards, essentially souvenirs or trophies from conquests, reminders of fallen comrades, and the probably largest and best maintained collection of lethal items you've seen in a very, very long time that are just like just
You mean
covered in the
weapons?
walls. Oh, weapons, yeah. Axes, swords, maces, everything.
Yeah, the WCX arsenal in here.
Yeah, it's
Question.
like
Are there
it's like
guns?
QC smoke or whatever it is from Skyrim, just everything in a room.
If there were firearms, there wouldn't be a ton of them, and they would be Imperium-made ones. But
He probably
because
has.
they're quite expensive.
Yeah, he's probably just got one, and it's definitely broken. Like he definitely killed somebody. Who was like, "Hey, this is my trophy from killing somebody with a gun," and it's definitely like broken beyond repair.
Like a handgun or like a rifle?
That'd be up to whatever.
Could be a
he- maybe
handgun.
whatever he's
That'd be
considered.
common on the battlefield enough.
Well, Marjolaine, have your pick. Courtesy of Walter, of course.
Oh,
They're like armor and stuff like that.
There would be half a set of like older Imperial armor that he definitely retired because he had like a nicer full set. That would be on a stand in his bedroom, but not a full set of armor. So he's probably got like there's probably
It's probably
old
like
chainmail.
the equivalent of like some scale mail, so like 100 gold or so worth armor, like some scale mail, like for appropriate amount of protection. Still heavy armor, but not quite a set of full plate, or maybe even half plate could still function for that purpose. Actually, yeah, half plate
The-
would make sense actually.
The one other centerpiece is on the sort of back wall of this entrance hall is a gigantic great axe that is just a full-on like the way fantasy art usually pictures like a minotaur holding a giant double-sided axe cast out of like goldenish bronze that clearly you're like, oh, I understand Walter used to be strong now. Like it's very clearly you needed 20 strength to wield this, and you're like, I get what he means now. That he used to be able to use that.
I don't think Walter would appreciate it if I took his things.
I mean,
He took Tessa's.
he took my things.
Sure.
And
Your
frankly,
things aren't my things.
well, I can consider them momentary loans until mine are returned to me. And since they are mine, I am offering them to you.
Why do you tempt me?
I'm not tempting you, I'm offering them to you.
You know, I think for prudence sake, I actually agree with Marjolaine. Just because he took something doesn't mean we can take his, right? Whether that be weapons or lives.
It's more like a collateral type deal. I'd be happy to return them in exchange for my shard. And he took my family's signet. It's not something that you take from a noble.
Your ring.
Correct. And my brooch.
I'm afraid to tell you that I took your ring. And it was destroyed.
I'm sorry, what?
I took your finger along with the ring.
What about the scorpion brooch?
I'm not sure.
Then I presume he took it. The signet ring can be replaced, though I have mixed feelings about you having took it. But fine. In either case, the brooch is worth more than all of these weapons together, so.
I see.
There's a lot of weapons.
It's a very expensive brooch. It's gold and diamond.
Why don't we just sell all this stuff and then we're rich? Guys, I don't think you guys are thinking. Ooh, in my room, I have a nuclear device worth $1 billion kajillion.
$1 billion kajillion gold.
Like,
The difference is Walter can't claim this without being vaporized by the Emperor.
in any case,
But we
Martha,
can.
But we can loot this house, no issues.
All
I'm
right,
not
Oog,
asking you
lots
to
of gold
indulge
here.
yourself into weapon fantasies. Just
Yeah, you can
simply
loot the
take
house,
what,
see what
take
happens.
what you need. I understand all you have is that weird sword I gave you, and it has a bit of a learning curve. And I know that it's not exactly your preferred modus operandi, so I'm sure there's some blunt instruments around here.
Take the
No, no.
pickaxe.
Don't need to take Walter's things.
Marceline, they're my things. Fine, fine.
Tell
I
me
guess
what
look
you
for any
need.
sign of him having been here, or I don't know. Things I could point to someone else.
Here. Instead, I'll entreat help to find what you need. Give me a moment.
Oh, I think I'll also entreat help.
Will you?
Wonderful.
From who?
Whatever that means. Great.
Who do you entreat help from, Tilly's? At the moment to ask.
This board. He takes out his Ouija board. So spirits.
Hell, you know, just demons.
I don't really know
Casual.
who is behind this board. It could be anyone.
Have I ever heard of a thing like this?
Ouija boards? Yeah. Occultists of all kinds have claimed that you can use it to speak with the dead or other extraplanar entities.
Not just like kids, not like a fun game. It's all the occultists. Okay.
Mostly occultists.
Where did you find this?
I found it in the same apartment. Yeah,
This is
I found it in
dangerous.
an apartment in the desert.
Shouldn't use this.
Oh, then I
It's
won't
like
use it at all.
Maybe the voices are right.
I have found that they often aren't.
How do you know?
Every time I
Who
talk
are
to
they?
them, they're either wildly unhelpful or, well, it's mainly the one.
What
You-
do they sound like? Can you hear them right now?
No, I have to beseech them.
My voice is a guiding light of the three. You must follow its directions carefully. The wisdoms will keep you safe.
I'm listening, I promise. Guide me again. Guide me to what we're looking for. And
You need a cleric. One of the true faith. Seek them. They can mend your mind, or at least aid in this transition.
Marjolaine will cover her ears and cast locate object to see if she can locate shard of Oathbow.
I think she's being guided.
As you cast the spell. Walter, you said you haven't been using this place at all as your hideout or anything. It sounds like we probably been hiding out at the tavern. It's based on what we're talking about. It seemed like a good hiding place.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that I've been planning for like 2 weeks now that would have started kind of like as soon as he got into town. So we might have to do some flashbacks or what have you.
We should do that at the top of next session. So, which gives
Next
us time
block.
to kind of next block, yeah, which will give us time to kind of give it justice, because if it sounds like you have a lot built up that you want to do, and I don't want to we only have 5 minutes here. I don't want to condense it down to 5 minutes. I want to give
not at
that
all.
like a lot of time. So,
I'm
in that
super down
case,
for the whole the top of next block, the whole next session to be like super Walter heavy. We did a lot
Yep.
of so like
Walter.
what the fuck has he done for the past like literally month and a half?
We need to kind of catch up. We get to catch up with Walter. So that actually means you have a little bit of homework in that. Give me a list of those things that you've been working on, thinking about, taking about, and give me all the deets in the private channel, and then we will kind of similarly to how we did the I died the two deados scenes like kind of retroactively after we got to them. We'll kind of do the same thing there.
Cool.
Which and you know, it kind of balances out because like last session, I think you two spent a lot of it dead, so it worked out. Good bit of it dead. So anyways, here to decompress, because didn't decompress last session,